number 2, Rose Run Zeb. Turn to race 4. Race 4, number 4, Brown Betty. Make the driver Ryan Stahl. Ryan Stahl will drive number 4, Brown Betty. Number 7, Outspoken Izzy. Change the driver to Cameron McCown. Cameron McCown will drive number 7, Outspoken Izzy. There are no changes in race 5. Turn to race 6. Race 6, number 4, Grew. Make the driver Rod Allums Jr. Rod Allums Jr. will drive number 4, Grew. Number 5, Pat King Cole. Change the driver to Cameron Keena. Cameron Keena will drive number 5, Pat King Cole. Number 6, Eisenman. Change the driver to Greg Bateson. Greg Bateson will drive number 6, Eisenman. Turn to race 7. Race 7, number 5, Grover Hill. Make the driver Pierce Henry. Pierce Henry will drive number 5, Grover Hill in race 7. Turn to race 8. Race 8, number 5, Vroom and Vonnie. Change the driver to Drew Neal. Drew Neal will drive number 5, Vroom and Vonnie. We still need a driver on number 2, Super Spirit. We need to know who's driving number 2, Super Spirit in race 8. Turn to race 9. Race 9, number 2, Bubble Me Up. Make the driver Rod Allums Jr. Rod Allums Jr. will drive number 2, Bubble Me Up. Number 4, Our Miss Ray. Change the driver to Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller will drive number 4, Our Miss Ray in race 9.
The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing is presented by the Ohio Veterinary Medical Center, Big D Tack and Vet Supply, Dublin Valley Farms, Stable.ca, and Midland Acres. Now let's go trackside for all the action.
Good afternoon, racing fans, and welcome to day 2 at the Seneca County Fair here in Tiffin, Ohio. We've got 9 races to bring you today. It's a little bit of an overcast day. We just had a little bit mist in the air, but I think it's going to be all right. Joined today by Trish Holsby and Matt Clark.
Yes, Susan, I don't think we're going to stop by a little bit of rain, even if it does come. The report looks pretty good from what I can see. And you know, the show must go on.
That's right. We can race in the rain, can't we?
We sure can.
So we've got 59 horses in tonight. Well, we had 2 scratch, so we're down to 57. We've got 29 different trainers. Brian Boring's going to be a busy guy tonight. We're 6 in. Rosie Weaver and Bill Webb each have 5, so those are the busy barns back in the on the back stretch.
And both those scratches are in our first race.
That's right. We've got a number of driver changes tonight. We'll try and keep you apprised of those as we go on during the night.
Going to that first race, if anybody already has their program and wants to follow along at home, it's the number 1, Muscle Swept, is out injured, and number 3, Tom Cincy Queen, also out injured.
And our driver change that we know about is on the 4-horse Money Shot. Ryan Stahl will drive, and we want to make sure that you can go to harnessracingohio.com and get your program. The program should be up for the second day here at the Seneca County Fair.
We do have an entry in this first race, and that is the 4 where Ryan Stahl picked up the drive with Money Shot, and the 7, Strike a Pose, both trained by Rory Moore.
Oh, we got another scratch.
My goodness.
Yeah, Amazing Sammy is scratched out of the first race, so that's the 5-horse scratch sick.
So that reduces us from a field of 7 to a short select field of 4 here, and we're looking at trotters. This is 2-year-old filly trotters going forward in our first race. First half of the daily double, as they say.
Be a little unusual because there will be 2 horses. Well, there'll be 3 horses on the gate and just 1 follower. So the 7-horse will still start from the second tier, even though we've scratched 3 of them out of the first tier.
Rosie Weaver, the trainer of the 2-horse, is one that has been very busy at the fairs this year and last year. And I was looking up some of her stats because the last 2 years have been just terrific for her. This year, she's off to a fast start. Last year was her strongest of money-winning earnings for those that she sent forward onto the track. Earned $750,461 out of her stable. Yet her percentage as a trainer was a little bit higher the year before. In 2022. She had a strong training average of $399.
Oh, that's very good. We consider those the same, like batting average. You know, when you get up in the 300s, you're doing really well.
Very well. I think that year she had 78 wins as well in 22.
Yeah, I think that year she was the leading county fair trainer.
Her horse will move into the rail position in that first race, Dixie Road. So she, instead of the 2-hole.
That was a highly unusual head rigging. Didn't you see? That horse, the one that Drew Neal's driving, the 2 Dixie Road, had what we call a Shady Daisy shadow roll on, where it's got all the cable ties, but it also had a shadow roll on in back of his ears, which I've seen a lot, but not with cable ties back there.
No,
there was
it had cable ties back there too.
Little short cable ties on what was going behind its ears. So hopefully it'll come around again and we can get a close-up shot of that, because it's kind of unusual. You went by and Matt turned around and looked at me like with this puzzled look.
They are gathering up the few that we have, getting ready for that first post parade. So you at home, you can take a look at that horse and see if you can detect what Susan has shown you there. Now we know the Shady Daisy is used a lot to help keep a horse to concentrate and not see other things. So the one behind the ears, I think, is to keep him from perhaps pinning his ears.
Yeah.
Pinning his ears.
But that's pretty unusual, as you can see. I know they have those little things that go back there that are, well, they used to be made out of leather. Now they're probably made out of a beta material that hold their ears forward. But we're going to have to talk to Rosie about that horse and see why she's got that on, because it is really unusual. So we can talk about a few of these before we gather up for the official post parade. As we said, this is the first of 2 divisions of the 2-year-old filly trot, going for a purse of $6,660. The 1 is a scratch. The 2 is the Dixie Road that we were talking about. Rosie Weaver trains, Drew Neal drives. Heartland Acres, Rosie Weaver, and Cabby D are the owners. This horse was bought at the Ohio Selected Sale for $22,000. Has 1 start on the year, that was at Bucyrus, and won that by a length and a half in 2.7.
We have the 4, Money Shot. This is going to be driven by Ryan Stahl, owned and trained by Rory Moore. Money Shot's a 2-year-old filly by Muscle Up the Goal out of Rapid Cash by Cash Hall. Has had 4 appearances this season, picking up 3/3.
Number 2 is Dixie Road, owned by Heartland Acres of Wauhanding, Ohio, Rosie Weaver of Beach City, Ohio, and Cabby D LLC of Hudson, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Number 3 is Tom Cincy Queen, owned by Rick Astle of Oakwood, trained by Chad Williamson, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 4 is Money Shot. Number 3 has been scratched, Number 3 is scratched. Number 4, Money Shot, owned and trained by Rory Moore of Grafton, the driver Ryan Stahl. Number 5, Amazing Sammy has been drawn. Number 6 is A Little Intoxicated, owned by Vicki Jennings of Weston, Michigan, Brad Nowakowski of Iowa Lake, Michigan, trained by Brian Boring, the driver Greg Bateson. Number 7 is Strike a Pose, owned by Rory Moore and Susan Sandstrom of Grafton, Ohio, trained and driven by Rory Moore. Horses will take 1 long score and go to the gate. Mutual.
Picking up where we left off, the 6 is A Little Intoxicated, not intoxicated, intoxicated, trained by Brian Boring. Greg Bateson will handle the driving duties. This horse was last at Oak Harbor, made a break from post 4 and finished distance, making a couple other breaks along the way, was scratched sick the time before that, but 3 back was a winner at Marion. So has 3 starts, 1 win on the year, trained by Brian Boring, and I believe it was a Brian Boring trainee that holds the track record here for 2-year-old filly trotters. And that would have been in 2021, I believe. We Go, that's right.
That's right.
And
yes.
2:01 was the time.
Strike a Pose and Rory Moore from the 7 hole, so they will trail. Rory is also the trainer, the owner, and the breeder. He owns this horse along with Susan Sandstrom. She also was one of the breeders. This is a Muscle Up the Goal out of a Perfectly Mare Perfect Picture. 4 starts this year. Has been staying flat. Made a break his first start, but has been staying flat. Just hasn't got the push through yet that he needs to get a little faster. Been trotting around 2:12.
So that's our field of 4 for tonight's first race here at the Seneca County Fair in Tiffin, Ohio. And it looks like we are getting joined by quite a few people in the grandstand tonight, Susan.
Yeah, we're going to have another nice crowd. We've got Matt singing again, which is always a treat for everybody here. We've got the Korfman family that are going to pay the call to the post. We had a new instrument introduced tonight. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like
Is it a tuba?
Yeah, like a little tuba.
Yeah.
A little tiny tuba. So, but they did the Star Spangled Banner, and then they're going to be doing the call to the post each time. So that's really fun to have that for the crowd. I was just going to see if Mr. Korfman, Daniel, he not only did the call to the post and was blowing the bugle out there, but he also drove a horse and trained a horse that was in the last race last night. Just checking on everybody that's joining us online. We got lots of people with us.
She's laughing. I don't know what they said, but she got a chuckle out of it.
Matt wanted him to pet Stony on the head for him. Stony Ridge Top, right? Yeah. Oh, is a favorite here. Somebody said Tiffin is the glass town. I wonder what that means. Somebody have to explain that to us.
Perhaps glass making?
Maybe.
I am not sure either. It wouldn't be because of a little intoxicated and raising the glass, I hope.
Yeah, who knows? Oh, we've got
Well, there's another story.
yeah. People from Florida, Lake Erie, Spring Lake, Michigan, Central Lake, Michigan, Seneca Lake. So welcome everybody. We got, like as we said, we got 9 great races to bring you tonight. It should be a nice night. It's cool. It's cool tonight. I don't know, but when I got out of my car, it was about like 78, which it feels really nice. There's a slight breeze. The breeze I don't think will affect the horses because it's not strong enough to push them down the stretch, but it is a little bit of a breeze. Give us a break.
This first division vying for $6,660.
So the horses are behind the Mount starting gate. Bruce Patterson is our starter tonight. Melissa Mount, the driver. So we've just got Dixie Road, Money Shot, A Little Intoxicated, and Strike a Pose. Let's turn it over to Bill.
Here they come. They're off and trotting. The first horse away is Money Shot. Dropping in there second is A Little Intoxicated. Racing third is Strike a Pose. And the last horse after going off stride is Dixie Road. As they make the turn now to head down the backside to race over toward that quarter-mile mark, Greg Bateson is out and on the move with A Little Intoxicated. But Ryan Stahl along the way with Money Shot's not letting him go. Racing in their third, that's Strike a Pose, driven by Rory Moore. And farther back fourth is Dixie Road, driven by Drew Neal. Going toward that quarter-mile mark now, Greg Bateson decides to take a seat in their second with A Little Intoxicated behind Money Shot.
32 and 2.
First quarter trotted in 32 and 2/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, that's Money Shot by a length and a half. A Little Intoxicated trots right there second, closing in a wee bit third. Now is Strike a Pose, and the last horse is Dixie Road. No change as they race down toward the half. That's Ryan Stahl and Money Shot bringing the horses down to the half. Sitting in the golden chair second, that's Greg Bateson with A Little Intoxicated. Closing in third is Strike a Pose, and the last horse, Dixie Road.
4-2.
First half trotted in 104 and 2/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over the 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Money Shot. Moving up on the outside second now is A Little Intoxicated. Strike a Pose trots third, and then comes Dixie Road. Heading down the backside, that's A Little Intoxicated by 1 length. At the rail now going off stride is Money Shot. Moving up along the rail third is Strike a Pose, and then comes Dixie Road. Going to that 3/4 mile mark, that's A Little Intoxicated by about 10 lengths. Racing second is Strike a Pose, and off stride third, Money Shot.
36 and 3.
3/4 trotted in 136 and 3/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt, that's A Little Intoxicated now by about 20 lengths. Strike a Pose trots second, Money Shot third with Dixie Road fourth. Horses are strung out as they race for home. It's going to be A Little Intoxicated, and here they all come. A mile and 2:07 and 2/5. Strike a Pose up for place. Show is Money Shot.
And Susan, I don't think we need the photo finish camera for this one.
No, we absolutely don't. It was an interesting race. I mean, they had a little battle going to the quarter. A Little Intoxicated was parked out and then decided to sit, and then came on at the 3/4 pole and just went right on by. And then, unfortunately, Money Shot then made a break also. So it was a spread out kind of race, but with 4 two-year-old filly trotters, you can figure that it's going to be, they're probably going to be all over the track.
Still learning, and it's really unbelievable when you stop and think about all that they have accomplished in just a short period of time. It certainly is amazing that most of these horses don't get started till October, really. May never have even had a harness on them. And here it is in the summer, they're already racing.
Yeah. Interesting, A Little Intoxicated. If she stays flat, she wins. She's had 4 starts. 2 of them she's won, stayed flat. The other 2 she made breaks and finished back. So I guess that is the goal for A Little Intoxicated, is just keep her flat.
She's an Enterprise filly. We have an Enterprise filly in this. Is that the lone Enterprise filly in this one? out of an Andover Hall mare by the name of Alvarez. Well, she lowered her lifetime mark here from the 215 and down here to 207 and 2.
7 and 2 looks a little better.
Yes, it does. I'm sure that Vicki Jennings and Brad Nowakowski from Michigan are very excited as she picks up her second win in 4 starts.
Matt's getting a nice close-up of her.
Pretty. Got that perfect head picture there.
Yep.
She had those ears forward looking just right. She had cheek pieces on both sides of her bridle.
Weston and Ottawa Lake, Michigan comes number 6, A Lil Intoxicated. Owned by Vicki Jennings and Brad Nowakowski, trained by Brian Boring, and driven to victory this evening by Greg Bateson. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Lumpy's Lawn Care Service. That's really hard here for Vicki Jennings, Brad Nowakowski, Brad Schaefer, Trina Hohenstein, Greg Bateson, and A Lil Intoxicated. And the Lumpy's Lawn Care Service, the donors of the blanket.
So we'll get that official rundown here shortly, but the 6 paid $16.80 to win. $3.60 to place, $2.40 to show. The Quinella 5-7 was $25.20.
One from the top. Number 1, Muscle Swept had been drawn. Number 2, Dixie Road was 4th. Number 3, Tom Cincy Queen had been drawn. Number 4, Money Shot was 3rd. Number 5, Amazing Sammy had been drawn. Number 6, A Lil Intoxicated was the winner. And number 7, Strike a Pose was 2nd. Time of the first quarter was 32 2/5. The half was in 104 2/5. The 3/4 in 136 3/5, with a mile in 207 2/5. From the top it should read, scratch 4, scratch 3, scratch 1, 2, a mile in 207 2/5, a new lifetime mark for A Lil Intoxicated. In the upcoming race 2, there'll be Win, Place, Show.
The horses tonight go into the Seneca County Harness Horsemen's Association Winners Circle, and they have a memorial over there in memory of the Seneca County horsemen. And I stopped over there before the races. There are 42 names engraved on that plaque of horsemen that they have lost, and a very nice tribute.
Yes, that's something I have not seen at a fairgrounds before, but a very touching and lovely tribute.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't be here today. We have to have the horsemen that came before and the horsemen that came before.
And their signature series events, they had a pace last night and having the trot tonight, and those are both called the Seneca County Horsemen Memorial Trot and Pace. So It is a nice tribute. Race 2 is coming up. We have 7 in it. It's a 2-year-old colt pace, the first of 2 divisions, and we're going to talk about those horses as soon as we come back.
The Seneca County Fair is one of the longest-running fairs in the state of Ohio. The very first was held in Tiffin in October of 1842. It was a 3-day event featuring local livestock, produce, and homemade goods. Admission was 10 cents per person, or $1 for the whole family. It was beyond successful, and the County Agriculture Society grew by 200 memberships. After a short hiatus, the fair was reorganized within the decade. The Society's new president had an idea to bring the fair even more traction, involve the women. Seneca County was one of the first fairs to display women's fancy needlework and sewing abilities. That idea still remains in the needlework department that is exhibited every year. In 1855, the Seneca County Union Racecourse was built, and the first horse races were held on the fairgrounds. Harness racing was popular and became a featured event for the fair. Less than 30 years after the first race was held, the Agricultural Society built a new Seneca County driving park. Here, horsemen could stable and train their horses year-round. Today, the Seneca County Fair hosts 2 days of live-action racing as a member of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference.
The roots of harness racing are born at the county fair. For over 150 years, people have gathered to watch horses battle it out for fame and glory. Catch the thrills this summer at an Ohio Fair Racing Conference county fair. The OFRC races at 22 fairs in 20 Ohio counties. Trotters and pacers put it all on the line to be called the best in the Buckeye State. The Ohio Fair Racing Conference, where the path to greatness begins.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661.
Welcome back to the Seneca County Fair here in Tiffin. They have the Seneca County Harness Horsemen's Association does a really great job. We talked before about the memorial, but they've got all their track records here in the front of the judges' stand. So they just they were throwing T-shirts last night. They have a singer. They have the trombone players, trumpet players.
There's a lot of the harness horses or standardbreds that are trained at county fair facilities throughout the year when they're not hosting a fair. Do you know some of them that are training here at the Seneca County Fairgrounds?
I just know the Wellers do.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah.
So the Wellers are here full time, but that's quite common that because not a lot of racetracks anymore have a barn area, and people have to have a place to train, so they either go to a training center, but our fairgrounds here in Ohio are used quite a lot all year long by our harness horsemen.
Yeah, that really has changed. There used to be the racetracks. When you went to the racetracks, there was a place for you to stay. There was a place for your horse, everything. But
and a great track kitchen.
Yes. Always a great track kitchen. You're right.
Oh, for those days, Susan. I can tell you, I think everybody had their favorites for certain things at certain places.
Yep. I still remember the pork chop sandwiches at the Maywood Track Kitchen. They were just really, really great.
Toledo, who is, that track is no longer alive and well with us. They had a great track kitchen, and I think Scioto Downs was famous for their roast beef sandwiches.
Roast beef sandwiches, yes. So we'll talk about a few of these horses, but it looks like not all of them are out on the track yet. So as we said, the first of two divisions of the 2-year-old colt pace, Dragon Games, Mark St. Louis Jr. will drive for Tad Doty. Deer Lake Stables, LLC from Osseo, Michigan as the owners. This is a Fear the Dragon out of Circle Game, who is by Art Major. One start, had one qualifier up at Northfield, where the colt paced in 2-1 and then went to Oak Harbor, finished 5th, but paced his mile in 2-1 and 4.
Well, Cameron McCowan gets the call for the 2-horse Just Right Now that has never made an appearance, not in a qualifier, not at another fair. Jason Hanna owns and trains his 2-year-old pacing gelding by Pet Rock out of Lady Ray by Cheyenne Ray. And, we do post on our programs those averages we were talking about. And Jason Hanna, with 19 starts and 6 wins, is batting .363.
That is good, really good. A Legend Secret, the number 3, James Day drives and trains this bit of a legend and is out of a mare called Stuck Like Glue, who is by Dragon Again, owned by Power Play Racing 87 from Medina, Ohio. One start on the year, that was at Carrollton, finished 2nd, back by only a length and 3/4 in 2-5 last quarter and 30 and 4.
Trainer Brian Boring, the winning conditioner of the first race, is back at it with a pacer here in the second. Truly Flying. Drew Neal gets the call, and the horse has had 3 starts, a second and a third, looking to get to that winner's circle with this Yankee Cruiser out of Truly Rosa by the Ponderosa.
Hot Shots Ray, Clifton Bell will drive for trainer Bill Webb. Bill is also the owner and bred this horse. It's a Cheyenne Ray out of Hot Shot Hullabaloo, who was by Noble Return. 4 starts on the year, 2 seconds. Was second at Marion in 2-8-2, and then second at Bell Fountain in 2-4-2.
Rod Allums Jr. will be driving Legendary Photo from post 6 with the nose on the gate. Trainer Jamie Weller, who doesn't have far to go, obviously, if, as Susan said, stationed right here. This is a bit of a legend colt out of Lyra by American Ideal. This one has seen 3 appearances, did make a break the last time out, so is distanced. And the time before had the 9-hole at Northfield in a non-winners of 1 and had interference. So it's had a couple of bad opportunities, but was 3rd in his first lifetime start.
Okay, we're going to have the live call to the post, so we will listen to that.
I'll start putting postword for race 2. This is the first division of the 2-year-old colt pace. Going for a purse of $6,930 and a blanket courtesy of Fatheads. Number 1 is Dragon Games, owned by Deer Lake Stables, LLC of Osseo, Michigan, trained by Thad Doty, the driver, Mark St. Louis Jr. Number 2 is Just Right Now, owned and trained by Jason Hanna of Marshall, Michigan, the driver, Cameron McCown. Number 3 is A Legend Secret, owned by Power Play Racing 87 LLC in Medina, Ohio, trained and driven by James Day. Number 4 is Truly Flying, owned and trained by Brian Boring, Adrian, Michigan, the driver, Drew Neal. Number 5 is Hot Shots Ray, owned and trained by Bill Webb of Defiance, the driver, Clifton Bell. Number 6 is Legendary Photo, owned by Stephen Reese, Republic, Ohio, and J&R Racing of Rising Sun, Ohio, trained by Jamie Weller, the driver, Rod Allums Jr. Number 7 is Pete Said, owned by Rick Hessel of Oakwood, trained by Chad Williamson, the driver, Pierce Henry.
Okay, Susan, you're going to pick up with that 7-horse.
Yep, Pete Said. We'll start from the second tier. Pierce Henry is driving. Chad Williamson, the trainer. Claude Esty from Oakwood, Ohio, is the owner. This is a well-said colt out of a Astros mare, The Mistress. 4 starts on the year, 1 win. That was back at Marion in 2-6-1. But last start out at Oak Harbor, this colt paced in 2-1-2.
All right, so what will they be shooting for in the track record here?
Let's see, 2-year-old colt pacers. Yeah, got 158-2, it looks like, from 2016. That's
Okay,
kind of an old track record.
Yes, it is. And this one does have 2 divisions, so there'll be 2 chances at it. They'll be going for $6,930 in the division here. And this is brought to you by Fatheads. Do you know what business Fatheads represents?
Well, I know that they are a printing company that prints big heads of people.
And I will not be getting a fat head.
We, a few years back, we made, wasn't just the heads, but we made the whole length of people. Let's see, we did Chris Page. Trying to think of who we did. It was at Delaware, and that was so much fun. We took them around the fair, and we set them up at different food stands, and we took pictures and posted. It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
And we actually got those made in New Jersey, and our great friend who has passed, Dave Brower, brought them out to Delaware for us from a printing place in New Jersey where we got them made. So that was
very nice.
Reminds me of that.
You still have them, or did you give them to the drivers?
We actually auctioned them off.
Oh, good.
And the money went to our scholarship fund. So
that might be one of those things you want to bring back every now and then.
I think it's about time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a real wild auction too about it. It was very hotly contested, and then we had to ship them to people. So one ended up in Florida, and I can't even tell you how many trucks and trailers that it went in before it got down to Florida. So.
Well, I can only imagine. I sent a package over a week ago to my son in Fort Myers, and it still hasn't gotten there, and I'm not very happy about it.
Well, now we have found out that Fatheads here is a great restaurant in Republic, Ohio.
Well, now,
So it's
see,
not
there
that.
you go again. Our audience knows everything. They'll certainly put us on the right path at
Yeah.
least.
We just got a note that congratulations to Drew Neal breaking 2 track records at 2 different tracks yesterday. So that's quite an accomplishment. So the horses are headed into the turn. From the rail out, we've got Dragon Games, Just Right Now, A Legend Secret, Truly Flying, Hotshot Ray, Legendary Photo, and from the second tier, Pete Said. Let's throw it up to Bill Peters.
Here they come. They're off and pacing. The first horse away is Dragon Games. Up on the outside, second is Truly Flying. At the rail, third is Just Right Now. Moving up fourth is Hot Shots Ray. Moving up fifth is Pete Said. At the rail sixth, that's A Legend Secret. And the last horse is Legendary Photo. As they make the turn now, heading down the backside to race over toward that quarter-mile mark, Mark St. Louis Jr. has Dragon Games on top by 2 lengths. Pacing in there second, that's Truly Flying, driven by Drew Neal. At the rail third is Just Right Now, driven by Cameron McCown. Fourth on the move on the outside is Hot Shots Ray, driven by Clifton Bell. Also moving up now, fifth is Pete Said, driven by Pierce Henry. Sixth that is A Legend Secret, driven by James Day. The last horse is Legendary Photo, driven by Rod Adams. First quarter paced in 32 1/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, that's Dragon Games with the lead. At the rail second, that is Truly Flying. On the outside third is Pete Said. At the rail fourth is Just Right Now. Up on the outside fifth is A Legend Secret. At the rail sixth is Hot Shots Ray, and on the outside seventh is Legendary Photo. First half pace in 101 4/5, and all 7 paces are pretty well bunched. As they make the turn now to head down the backside to race over the 3/4 mile mark. Pete Said, 60 nose out in front, drives right on. Dropping back second, getting a little rough gated, there's Dragon Games. Moving along third, that's Truly Flying. Edging up on the outside fourth now comes Just Right Now. Fifth is Hot Shots Ray. Sixth to the outside, Legendary Photo. The last horse is A Legend Secret. 3 quarters in 132 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's still Pete Said with the lead. Flying on the outside second though is Just Right Now. Also on the move is Hot Shots Ray and A Legendary Photo. As they turn for home, that's Pete Said, but here comes Just Right Now on the outside. Pete Said at the rail, Just Right Now on the outside. Pete Said and Just Right Now. Pete Said and Just Right Now. Pete Said at the rail, Just Right Now on the outside. It's Just Right Now. Pete Said up for place. It looked like about 3 horses could have been in a photo for show. 1 mile and 2:02 3/5. How about that for a finish of a horse race?
I don't know. I thought that was closer than what he called.
I thought possibly Pete Said on
I
the
did
inside
too.
was just, but boy, that was a tight and a great finish.
It was a great finish and very exciting because Pete Said was sitting second over and then pulled out and made a big swoop to the lead. And Pierce Henry, who won 2 races on last night's card, was doing a lot of action in the bike. He was rocking and almost like in a rocking chair. There's a lot of ways, different styles, people, when they're driving horses, urge one on. And that is one. You'll sometimes see him. Sometimes it's laying, pretty much straight back. Important for most to keep the bit up in the horse's mouth and not let them think that it's over or that they're tired. So.
So they're going to be bringing Cam McCowan and Pierce Henry, bringing their horses back to the front side until they get that picture and see who was the winner.
Yeah, that was as much as, sitting right here on the post that is the finish line. I thought that one was very close.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have called it 7 the other way, with 7
Would you?
getting the victory, but because I could see his nose, I thought, ahead. So did I think I hear him say bring Pete Said
I
back
thought
to
so,
the winner's circle?
but then
Is that
before
just
he
for
said,
the photo?
Yeah, I don't know if that's for the photo or looks like they both are coming back.
Somebody is pretty sure, though. There's already somebody on the cart. No, I guess they're just getting a ride. I don't know, Susan. We have
I don't
people streaming to the winner's circle.
Yeah, they are.
Who that may be.
They could be the restaurant owners.
Oh, that's right.
They could
now,
be.
I said I wouldn't buy a fathead, but I'd eat at fatheads.
That was the best race we've had in the 2 days. I think that was just so
very
tight.
good. Very good.
Into the winner's circle where the winners go. Coming in from Oakwood, Ohio, comes number 7, Pete Said. All by Rick Essel, trained by Chad Williamson, and driven to victory this evening by Pierce Henry.
All right, Mutual 724 is official.
Copy that. We're official. 724 official. Thank you.
So now it looks like Pierce will be waiting for maybe his more people. I see a golf cart coming over.
And he picks up his first win on tonight's card here with this Chad Williamson trainee.
Pierce had 2 wins yesterday, so this puts him up to the leading driver at this meet.
Yes. I think Mark St. Louis Jr. was the other driver that had 2 wins last night, I do believe. And
yes,
we might have had a training 2 wins for Ryan Stahl, I believe, last night, maybe. I was looking at my program.
Yes, you are right. I wrote Ryan Stahl down twice. So yes, he did have 2 wins.
So I always feel the more the merrier in the winner's circle, whether it's somebody representing, that's giving out the trophy or blanket or whatever, or even people I don't know. I always think you should share the joy.
Yep.
Said and all concerned, and the fatheads, the donors of the blanket.
We'll get the official rundown here, but the wind is picking up a little bit. It feels nice breeze, I should say.
It is. I see Tim coming up here or he went to the judges with the photo. Maybe if he has the photo with him, or he may have left it up there with the judges. I don't know. It's always nice to get a peek at those photos and show them to everybody.
It is. It's nice when they post them.
In the consolation daily double, if you had number 6 in the first race with any horse in the second race, it'll pay $37.60. If you had any horse in the first race with number 7 in the second race, it'll pay $3.80.
Well, that's like getting the whole field on the other.
Yes, getting the whole field.
That's nice.
Sometimes you at these fairs, it's some really odd payouts sometimes, but we.
Official placings for race 2 from the top. Number 1, Dragon Games was 7th. Number 2, Just Right Now was 2nd. Number 3, A Legend Secret was 6th. Number 4, Truly Flying was 3rd. Number 5, Hot Shots Ray was 5th. Number 6, Legendary Photo was 4th. Number 7, Pete Said was the winner. Time of the first quarter was 32 1/5. The half was in 101 4/5. The 3 quarters in 132 with a mile in 202 3/5. From the top it should read 726 354. 1 on the bottom, a mile in 202 3/5. New lifetime mark on Pete Said. In the upcoming race 3, number 2, Rose Run Zeb. The driver will be Pierce Henry. Pierce Henry will drive number 2, Rose Run Zeb. And it'll be win, place, show.
As Bill said, a new lifetime mark for Pete Said, 2, 2, and 3. Coming from that second tier didn't bother him at all.
No, certainly did not. And actually, like you said, it was a very good race because even the 3 made a break early and recovered and was part of it too. I mean, it was very exciting.
It was. So the next race up is our third, the first of 2 divisions of the 3-year-old Colt Trotters, going for a purse of $6,300, and we'll be right back.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Volstead, Coach K. Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K. Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms. When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out, Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com for fast shipping. Most orders ship that day. Or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Hey, welcome back to the Seneca County Fair here in Tiffin. We've got our races tonight. We started at 6 o'clock. Earlier today, you got to watch the Marysville card. If you didn't get to see it, you can go back and watch that replays. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to be at the Lake County Fair in Painesville. We've got 16 races tomorrow. So a noon post. And our leading trainer at the fair so far this year is Betty Clegg. She has 18 horses in tomorrow. So she's got like 20% of all the horses that are racing tomorrow are coming from the Betty Clegg barn.
They are an amazing story, the Clegg team, and that they pretty much, it's all their horses, and they do the bulk of the work themselves. They don't have a lot of outside help. Nick told me that they started with 22 babies, and this goes back a week or so ago. 19 of them had already been to the races and earned checks. So that's a very high percentage with babies. Yeah. And there's, we have a lot of, most of the money for the horses is always for the young stakes horses, the young horses, the 2- and 3-year-olds. There's always those, though, that are not mature enough, maybe aren't, or they've grown too fast or whatever. They're just not ready to. So anyway, 19 out of 22 would be a pretty remarkable statistic.
Yeah. And tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we'll be at the Shelby County Fair in Sydney. So we have, you can have a full day of racing tomorrow on the OHHA Facebook, YouTube, and harnessracingohio.com. And don't forget, harnessracingohio.com is where you can go to get your programs.
I don't know if many people know, but Nick Clegg didn't always have the horse in the stable with his wife. He shod horses for 5.5 years. So I'm sure he shoes his own horses in his own stable as well.
Yeah,
what an asset that is.
Yes, that's a big, that helps a lot. A good blacksmith is worth their weight in gold.
Because it's no shoes, no horse.
Yeah. All right, we can take a look at the horses in this. This is the first division of the 3-year-old colt trot. Sir Cactus Jacks and Drew Neal from the rail. Rosie Weaver trains. John Zelenak and Charles Koprowski are the owners. This is a Volstead. Excuse me, just a minute.
All right, Susan. I will take over there. This Sir Cactus Jacks is a Volstead, as she said, out of Rose Run Nelly by Train for the Future. Is winless since 12 starts so far this year, but has earned $14,324. Last out at Bucyrus from the 5-hole, finished third, beaten 2.5 lengths, went in 2:01.1. Drew Neal was in the bike that night and in the bike again tonight. Here with Sir Cactus Jacks. And do you want me to go on, Susan? Have you collected that? She's having a little bit of a throat there. 2 is Rose Run Zeb. Pierce Henry has been named to drive this one for trainer Tyler Bates, and that'll give Pierce another chance to get another win on the evening here. This one is a Triumphant Caviar Gelding out of Tamika Sealster by Burnt Hanover, owned by Suzanne Bates and Kay Shivak. I'm making a guess there, not sure how to pronounce that one. Rose Run Zeb was a winner last time out in 159.4 at Oak Harbor in the Ohio Fair Stakes and was the favorite going to post that day.
CS Full Speed and Jay Weller from the 3-hole. Jay also trains, and Cole owns his horse along with Louise Weller. This is a full count out of a Superstar Stabra mare, MZ Friendly. 7 starts on the year, 3 wins. One at Paulding, our first fair of the season. One at Ottawa in 2-5-1. And then again at Marion in 2-5-3. But that 2-4 and 1 mile at Paulding is CS Full Speed lifetime mark.
Ann Russell from Britain, Michigan, trains and owns this Uncle Peter colt, the only colt in the race. The rest are geldings, out of TK's Karma by Victory Sam. The horse's name is Wilder, and Mark St. Louis Jr. will be in the race bike. He won 2 races last night, I think, on the card as well. This one was a $7,500 purchase out of the Buckeye Classic, but has been not getting those trotting lessons down pat yet. Has made a break in every start, but goes forward again here to try for his 7th appearance on the season. There's our call to the post.
For race 3, this is the first division of the 3-year-old colt trot. Going for a purse of $6,300 and a blanket courtesy of Greenfield Stables. Number 1 is Sir Cactus Jacks, all by John Zelenak of Lorain, Ohio, and Charles Kaprowski of Sagamore Hills, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Number 2 is Rose Run Zeb, all by Suzanne Bates of Gibsonburg and Joel Shivak of Woodville, Ohio, trained by Ty Bates, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 3 is CS Full Speed, all by Jay and Louise Weller of Republic, trained and driven by Jay Weller. Number 4 is Wilder, owned and trained by Ann Russell of Britain, Michigan, the driver Mark St. Louis Jr. Number 5 is Count Star, owned by Sue Robbins of Republic, trained by Norm Robbins, the driver Ryan Stahl. Number 6 is Banker's Slim Chance, owned by Catherine Smith of Glen Allen, Virginia, trained by Pat Karcher, the driver Greg Bateson. Horses will take 1 long score and go.
Okay, we'll talk about the 5-horse Count Star Ryan Stahl drives for trainer Norman Robbins. Susan Irene Robbins is the owner and also the breeder of this horse. He's a full count out of a Master Glide mare, Sister Star. Has been making a few breaks, but does have a 2nd and 2/3. Trotted in 2, 1, and 4, 3 starts in a row as a Northfield qualifier, and then 2 races at Northfield Park where he trotted in 2, 1, and 4.
Banker's Slim Chance rounds out the field for trainer Pat Karcher. Catherine Ann Smith owns from Glen Ellen, Virginia. This one by Break the Bank K out of Sasson Powell by Tom Ridge, or Sasson Poof, maybe that is, by Tom Ridge. Greg Bateson gets the call, and this one has had 3 starts on the year, has picked up 2 checks, but has not been on the board, as they say, in 3 starts yet.
I think this is going to come down to who stays flat.
Yes, it's always a contest, but when you have these young trotters especially, it's really sad when, I have to say, you get them all ready to go and your heart just breaks when, you're trying to bring them along and they're still making miscues. It can be frustrating and heartbreaking, but this is the best place for them to learn to get it together, because at the fairs you can run and you're not penalized. However, if you were racing at the parimutuel track, if you made 2 breaks in a row, you'd have to go back to the qualifiers, and some people have a name for that, and they call it the dummy derbies. I don't like that.
Sir Cactus Jacks was certainly an outstanding 2-year-old, had 18 starts, 5 wins, 7 seconds, 2/3, made $40,000 at racing, and he raced a lot at the fairs during his 2-year-old form. Rose Run Zeb also had a nice 2-year-old year, 17 starts, only 1 win, but 4 seconds, 2/3, owning earnings of almost $12,000. Wilder made almost $11,000 as a 2-year-old, so some of these horses really raced very well.
Well, and as I was
2.
talking about the ones that aren't ready at 2, Banker's Slim Chance was one such horse. Had no prior starts last season and only 3 this year.
Sometimes waiting on those horses, it takes a lot of patience sometimes, and you wait, but sometimes turns out to be the best thing that you could have done.
I will second that. The starter is calling for the horses. They're gathering up, going to move up and in behind the starting gate. The starting car tonight is driven by, who did you say is handling our starting car tonight? The driver and the starter.
Melissa Mount is the driver of the car, and I believe it's Bruce Patterson that is the starter.
And comes Rose Run Zeb, CS Full Speed, Wilder, Count Star with Banker Slim Chance on the outside. They're at the post. Starting gate is rolling now. There they come. Here, off and trotting the first horse away is Rose Run Zeb. Up on the outside second, that is CS Full Speed. At the rail third is Sir Cactus Jacks. In there fourth is Wilder. Moving up fifth is Banker's Slim Chance. And the last horse offside is Count Star. Also offside went Wilder. As they make the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that quarter-mile mark, Drew Neal has Sir Cactus Jacks on top by 2.5 lengths. Trotting in there second, that's Rose Run Zeb, driven by Pierce Henry. Third is CS Full Speed, driven by Jay Weller. Fourth is Banker's Slim Chance, driven by Greg Bateson. First quarter trotted in 30 and 1/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, horses are strung out just a wee bit. That's Sir Cactus Jack by about 3 lengths. Racing second, Rose Run Zeb. CS Full Speed is third. Fourth is Banker's Slim Chance. Wilder trots fifth. Off stride sixth once again is Count Star. Coming down to the half-mile mark, that's Sir Cactus Jacks by about 3 lengths. Still racing second is Rose Run Zeb with CS Full Speed right there third. First half trotted in 1 minute and 1/5 seconds. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Sir Cactus Jacks. The closest horse second is Rose Run Zeb, but flying up on the outside third now comes CS Full Speed. Spanker's Slim Chance is still in their fourth. Wilder fifth. The last horse, Count Star. Going to that 3/4 mile mark. CS Full Speed takes over. Dropping back second is Sir Cactus Jacks. Rose Run Zeb is third, followed by Banker's Slim Chance, Wilder, and Count Star. 3/4 in 1:31 and 1/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's CS Full Speed by about 5.5 lengths. Trotting in their second, Sir Cactus Jacks with Rose Run Zeb third. Off stride fourth now goes Banker's Slim Chance. Off stride fifth is Wilder. As they race for home, that's CS Full Speed and Sir Cactus Jacks. It's going to be CS Full Speed, and here they all come. Sir Cactus Jacks up for place. Up for show is Rose Run Zeb. 1 mile in 2 minutes and 3/5.
2 minutes and 3/5. The track record for this one was 1:59 and 4. That was back in 2020. John Moody was in the bike behind Time Storm for trainer Kent Hess, I believe.
Jay Weller winning that at his home track. There should be lots of people in the winner's circle for this.
And probably a few fans up here in the grandstand.
I heard somebody behind us when Jay pulled and went up the backside, and he just flew up the backside. Somebody said, "Man, that horse is going fast." And he was.
And those moves are impressive when they can swoop the field like that.
CS Full Speed was a $7,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale, and this gives him, he has won half of his starts this year. Now he has 8 starts and 4 wins, pushes his earnings up right around $10,000.
And that is one of those horses that turned it around, because last year as a 2-year-old he had 8 starts and would not finish first, second, or third, earned $1,756. And then there you go, matures a little more, and now won half his starts this season.
And Jay Weller is an extremely patient driver. I've watched him for quite a while now, and he'll just sit and sit and sit, not afraid to sit for quite a while. And then, but boy, when he pulled out this horse this time, he took off.
There'll be a t-shirt toss after this race, so get ready up the grandstand. It's got to be a t-shirt toss.
T-shirt handle.
Well, they announced that we will have a T-shirt toss here in the grandstand following this race. Is that the T-shirts that are going to have the eclipse on, or are these T-shirts
know.
from the Signature Series?
We will see which one.
Last
it's gonna
night
be.
we had both.
Yes. Hopefully we'll have this night too. The Seneca County Horsemen did up T-shirts when the solar eclipse was, and we're selling them then. And they're, I think they still have some for sale back in the barn area. But then you can, if you're sitting in the right spot in the grandstand, you can get one tonight.
Into the winner's circle, one of the winners will coming from right here in Seneca County, Republic, Ohio, comes number 3, CS Full Speed, owned by Jay and Louise Weller and trained and driven to victory by Jay Weller. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Greenfield Stables.
Louise Weller at the front of the horse. She's always very enthusiastic when they come back to the winner's circle. She's always petting her horses a lot. And
Let's have a big hand here for Jay and Louise Weller and CS Full Speed at the Greenfield Stables, the donors of the blanket.
Well, I think horses, just like any living creature, dog, people, whatever, they thrive on positivity, and being patted on the nose and knowing they did well is important. Keep your horses, I always say. Love them well, keep them happy and healthy, and they'll give you their best.
Number 1, Sir Cactus Jacks was second. Number 2, Rose Run Zeb was third. Number 3, CS Full Speed was a winner. Number 4, Wilder was fifth. Number 5, Count Star was sixth. Number 6, Banker's Slim Chance was fourth. Time of the first quarter was 30 1/5. The half was in 1 minute and 1/5. The 3/4 in 1:31 1/5. With a mile in 2 minutes and 3/5. From the top it should read 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, 4. A mile in 2 minutes and 3/5. New lifetime mark on CS Full Speed. In the upcoming race 4, number 4, Brown Betty. The driver will be Ryan Stahl. Ryan Stahl will drive number 4, Brown Betty. Number 6, Oxford Girl. The driver will be Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller will drive number 6, Oxford Girl. And number 7, Outspoken Izzy. The driver will be Cameron McCown. Cameron McCown will drive number 7, Outspoken Izzy. There'll be win plate.
so I want to give a little shout out and congratulations to one of our most loyal listeners, Scott Tarleton. He said he didn't get to watch the early card today because he became a grand new great uncle. So we had his niece had his oldest niece's oldest daughter had a baby boy named Luca. So when he gets old enough, Scott and him will be watching the races
together.
at the fairs.
And
together.
Luca's already got free publicity already tonight here on the O'Hara and his Horsemen's Association broadcast. He's off to a winning start, that's for sure. I said happy and healthy, and your horses will give you their best, but there is an important third ingredient that any trainer and owner knows particularly. You got to have them in the right races. You have to have them in the right class and condition. You can't have them in over your head. So it's not fair to say that that's the only 2 things, but 3 ingredients.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear, I've heard one of the Grand Circuit trainers that said, well, yeah, I won that race when I entered him because he knew he was going to be the best in that kind of a class. So speaking of classes, the 3-year-old filly Pace is coming up. It's the first of 2 divisions. Going to go for a purse of $6,658. We've got 7 in it. We'll be right back.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Long Tom, Summa Cum Laude, Ready for Money, and Bit of a Legend. See our yearlings at the Blooded Horse Sale August 27th and the Ohio Select Sale September 13th.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 65 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the County Fair, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for over $20 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio. For over 100 years, the values at CoverLink Insurance have been clear. Do the right thing. These values have been at the forefront of what we do, and that will never change. At CoverLink Insurance, you're a person, not a policy. Whether you raise crops, livestock, or own the family farm, CoverLink's farm insurance can be tailored to meet your needs. Trusted advice and solutions to protect what matters most. Great service from great people, CoverLink Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to Seneca County Fair. There's a young lady out here. I don't know, you think she's 12, 13, something like that?
I thought she was probably 11 or 12.
11, 12?
Yep.
But if there's any high school baseball coaches out here, they ought to take a look at this young lady because she can throw T-shirts. She threw them 3/4 of the way up the grandstand.
I almost wanted to grab her and ask her name and what school she went to because honestly, people sitting in the far back did not need to worry that they wouldn't have a chance to get a T-shirt because she fired them up there.
Absolutely, she can throw.
She deserves a shout out, but we don't know her name.
She's still standing. Maybe we can catch her at some point and ask her how she learned how to throw that far because she could whip them.
She sure can. So here we are with the fourth race on tonight's card. We have 9 tonight, and the fourth race, as Susan said, is our 3-year-old filly Pacers with a full field of 7. They're bringing them out, trying to get them organized so we can have a post parade here. Susan, while we're waiting.
The one is Hula Ray. Clifton Bell will drive for Bill Webb. Bill is also the owner and the breeder of the Cheyenne Ray out of Hot Shots Hullabaloo, who is by Noble Return. This horse just had 1 start as a 2-year-old, has had 8 starts this year. Last start at Oak Harbor, finished 4th with pace in 2, 2, and 1. Finished 2nd at Marion in 2, 4, and 3.
Trainer Pat Malloy Jr. will be handling Lady Bay. He also owns the 3-year-old filly by Down by the Seaside out of Bad Feeling Badlands, Hanover, with the co-owner Lisa Goslin. This one's a speedy filly. She has a mark of 153-4 at Scioto Downs. Has had 12 appearances behind the gate this year with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 1/3. The most recent victory was that lifetime best, and that was taken at Scioto Downs on a sloppy track, actually, 2 back. And that was a condition claiming race. And tonight, here we are in the Fair Stakes.
And kind of an expensive young filly when she was a yearling, $60,000 purchase at the Ohio Selected Sale, but it's hard to get it Down by the Seaside. They are expensive when they're
and
sold
well
at sale.
sought after, as Susan points out.
Robin Hill High and Drew Neal from the 3-hole for trainer Brian Boring, and Christine from Morton, Michigan. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to embarrass myself by saying her last name really wrong. So Christine, this is a Nob Hill High out of Mommy Robin Q, who's by Western Ideal. 4 starts on the year, 1 second, 1/3. Her second was last week at Oak Harbor, where she paced in 2 minutes and 4/5, and then was 3rd at Bell Fountain in 2, 5, and 1.
Trainer Jane Weller will send out Brown Betty, and Ryan Stahl will be driving this Racing Hill filly out of Corona again by Dragon again. This is a very lightly raced 3-year-old, only 1 start last year as a 2-year-old, and thus far this season only 3, but has placed 2nd in both of her last appearances. 2nd at Bucyrus last time out, and came a last quarter in 28-1, mile in 2 minutes and 4/5 at that fair track, and 57-4 the week before, or weeks before, at Northfield.
Dancing with Devon, Mark St. Louis will drive for trainer Michael DeRunts. Michael also owns this horse and bred her. It's a Dancing Yankee out of a pro bono best mare, Nothing's Ever Free. Last start at Bucyrus, finished 4th. Pace mile in 2, 1, and 2. Came home in 28-1, and had 2 back-to-back miles in 59, 1 at Scioto and 1 at Northfield Park.
Rising Stein Stables of Cortland, Ohio, owns Oxford Girl trainer Derek Flowers, and in the bike tonight, Emmanuel Miller. This one had no starts as a freshman and has had only 2 appearances this year with 2/3, $2,880 earned.
Outspoken Izzy Cam McCowan up for Brian Boring. Travis Boring is the owner and the breeder. So well said filly out of a jet lag mare. Impressive Liz has had 1 win this year. That was at Northfield Park in 158.
So, Susan, do you think they have a shot at the track record here? Because it's 24 years strong.
Wow.
It's 156-2. Pocket of Dreams. Ryan Stahl drove that one for Russell Stahl. That's a long time one.
It's a long time. Lady Bay's been in 54, 53. Oxford Girls been in 54 once. So it depends on how the race sets up. Maybe if those two battle, or if somebody else battles, and then they'll come home.
We don't have many records last long today.
Right.
The horses are getting faster and faster and faster.
Our young lady that has got such an arm, her name is Paisley Parkins, and she goes to Hopewell Loudon Schools.
So someone was listening that knew her. That's great. Paisley, you're terrific.
What's our printing post word for race 4? This is the first division of the 3-year-old filly pace. Going for a purse of $6,658 and a blanket courtesy of Republic Banking Company. Number 1 is Hula Ray, owned and trained by Bill Webb of Defiance. The driver is Clifton Bell. Number 2 is Lady Bay, owned by Pat Malloy Jr. and Lisa Goslin of Eaton, Ohio, trained and driven by Pat Malloy Jr. Number 3 is Robin Hill High, owned by Christine Kostasich of Morton, Michigan, trained by Brian Boring, the driver Drew Neal. Number 4 is Brown Betty, owned by Charles Mooney of Avon Lake, Ohio, and Janie Weller, Republic, Ohio, trained by Janie Weller, the driver is Ryan Stahl. Number 5 is Denson with Devon, owned and trained by Michael Durantz of Ashland, Ohio, the driver Mark St. Louis Jr. Number 6 is Oxford Girl, owned by Rising Stein Stables LLC of Cortland, Ohio, trained by Derek Flowers, the driver Emmanuel Miller. Number 7 is Outspoken Izzy, owned by Travis Boring, Clayton, Michigan, trained by Brian Boring, the driver Cameron McCown. Horses will take 1 long score and go to the gate.
So we were talking about young Paisley Parkins, who is throwing the T-shirts up into the stands and getting them up to way up in the stands, at least 3/4 of the way up. And Rusty Voorhees says Hopewell Loudon, that school has a really good sports programs, especially for girls. So I hope they've all got their eye on Paisley.
That's right. How old did they say how old she is?
Nope, didn't say how old. We had a couple people that Patrick knew her and Jerry. They both knew her, so.
Well, maybe they've admired her arm too. They've seen her in action. I don't know. If she was a promising pacer or trotter, we'd say, wow, we got a nice one here.
Yeah. Turned out to be a beautiful night here. It's just the sky's
I took
pretty.
care of that real early. I told Susan that I brought my rain jacket because every time I'm prepared, I don't need it. And when I forget it, it rains.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to learn to keep a lot of stuff in your car. You know, a couple change of clothes, as we have gotten so soaked sometimes. So just like the horsemen, they have to carry extra stuff with them all the time, extra equipment, and we do too. Especially we need a big tarp sometimes to cover up all the electronic equipment.
Right, and unfortunately sometimes the drivers get caught away and they don't have their mud colors with them or their rain colors. And it's a pretty ugly ordeal. And their eyes from the track, even though they wear glasses and things, a lot of times you'll get track dirt in the eyes when it's wet and sloppy like that. Terrible.
It seems like that limestone comes out of your eyes and stuff for days,
all over
too.
the face.
Yeah.
It's awful. That's not a pretty job on a night like that, that's for sure. Not for the horse either, really. But some of them are good in the mud. And, you know, Susan, you and I both saw racing in Chicago. But I remember when I was little in the program, they used to make a markation, a mark in the program. If they had won in the mud, they called them mudders. And they had a little insignia if they'd won in the mud. We don't do that anymore.
That's right.
As programs evolve.
Well, I think that probably has to do with the tracks, too. because you don't get those really deep, muddy tracks like you used to if it is up here. Well, most of the tracks can just take a lot of
They
water.
are all surface, all
yeah.
weather, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably got something to do with it too. And then if it gets too bad, they just scrape it off, and then they're down to a good surface again. We were racing at Hilliard a few, I don't know when, a week ago maybe, and they were talking about how it can rain so much there. And they were taking bets a few years back because it rained and rained and rained so much. The infield was full, the track was full. Track was out probably about 2 wide, full of water, and everybody kept saying, "Are we going to cancel? We're going to cancel." Guys said, "No, just wait, it'll be fine." And then they took bets. They said, "I'm going to place a bet that by the 4th race we'll be water in this track," and everybody said, "No way," and they were.
Oh, my
It's just
goodness.
got tremendous
It takes a
drainage.
lot of water.
Yeah, it's got a
Wow.
big drainage system underneath, and really can take a lot of water.
Well, a good track man is hard to find, too.
Yeah, yep. That's a very good job. So these 3-year-old filly pacers are going to the gate from the rail out. We've got Hula Ray, Lady Bay, Robin Hill High, Brown Betty, Dancing with Devon, Oxford Girl, and from the second tier, Outspoken Lizzie.
Here they come. Here, off and pacing. The first horse away on the outside is Outspoken Izzy. Between horses second, that's Brown Betty. Down at the rail third, that is Robin Hill High. In their fourth, that is Hula Ray. Moving up on the outside fifth now, around that turn, down to the backside. That is Hula Ray. As they race down the backside, with the lead now is Drew Neal with Robin Hill High. Racing in their second along the rail. Excuse me, that is Emmanuel Miller with Oxford Girl showing on top by 2.5 lengths. Racing in their second is Brown Betty, driven by Ryan Stahl. Right there third, that is Robin Hill High, driven by Drew Neal. First quarter pace in 28 4/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, that's Oxford Girl by 2 lengths. Racing in their second is Brown Betty. In their third, that is Robin Hill High. Racing at the rail fourth is Hula Ray. Fifth, that is Outspoken Izzy. Moving up sixth now is Lady Bay. And the last horse coming down to the half-mile mark is Dancing with Devon. Past the half-mile mark, that is Oxford Girl by 1 length. At the sitting of the Golden Chair, second, Brown Betty, but up on the outside third is Robin Hill High. 58-2. First half pace in 58 2/5 seconds. The front six are pretty well bunched as they wait round the turn to head down the backside to race over to the 3/4 mile mark. That's Oxford Girl along the rail with the lead. On the outside second is Robin Hill High. At the rail third, that is Brown Betty. Moving up fourth is Outspoken Izzy. Moving up fifth is Lady Bay. Sixth along the rail is Hula Ray. Going to that 3/4 mile mark, six are still well bunched. Still with the lead, that is Oxford Girl. 3 quarters in, 129. That's Oxford Girl with the lead. Brown Betty now gains second along the rail. On the outside third, that is Outspoken Izzy. With a less than 1/8 of a mile to go, that's Oxford Girl with the lead. Outspoken Izzy second and trying to go on along with Brown Betty and Lady Bay as they race for home. That's Oxford Girl and Outspoken Izzy. Oxford Girl at the rail, Outspoken Izzy on the outside. It's going to be Oxford Girl, and here they all come. Outspoken Izzy up for place, up for show is Lady Bay. 1 mile in 1:58 2/5.
Okay, so 6-7-2 for the top 3 finishers in that one. And 1:58 was the time of the mile, which was 2 seconds shy of the track record of 1:56 here.
Manny Miller picking up that catch drive from Derek Flowers. That horse had just had 2 starts in the year. Had been racing at Scioto Downs, so pacing some really good miles. I mean, she qualified in 57-2, came back in another qualifier in 56, then finished third in a Fillies and Mares 9-1 pari-mutuel race lifetime in 55-1. Next start, she came back and paced in 54-3, so well within herself to pace this track in 58-2.
And the first time they put her on the front is in this particular race tonight. So she got to the front, never looked back.
Manny Miller coming back. We hadn't seen him much in the early part of the season, and he had been down to Oak Grove, Kentucky, racing down there. So Nice to have Manny back and hitting the winner's circle.
Lady Bay broke leaving in this race. The 2-horse Lady Bay, she was one of the other Fleet fillies in the race. But she recovered, finished 3rd. The 7 Outspoken Izzy was out quite a ways there for Cam McCowan, finishing 2nd. And they all look great in the winner's circle.
Mm-hmm. The driver is always keeping an eye to see when the owners and trainers can get over to the winner's circle.
Back into the winner's circle, where the winners go. Coming in from Cortland, Ohio, comes number 6, Oxford Girl, owned by Rising Stein Stables LLC, trained by Derek Flowers, and driven to victory this evening by Emmanuel Miller.
That was breaking the maiden, as we say. First lifetime victory. 158-2 right here at the Seneca County Fairgrounds, Tiffin, Ohio. Congratulations.
Looks like the breeder was Charles Stein and the owner is Rising Stein Stable, so I imagine there's that connection there.
The homebred. Now the water wagon is out. We were just talking about maintenance on the tracks. The water wagon is out here. And
Big banking company, the donors of the white.
I think that's something remarkable that we have in our harness racing that the thoroughbreds do not put up with. We have our horses out among water wagons and drags, and they handle all that with aplomb, most of them. And once they get used to them, it's like, big deal.
Yeah.
But it sometimes makes me nervous with the babies because you can see maybe they want to dart or dive away from it.
It was 6th. Number 4, Brown Betty was 4th. Number 5, Dancing with Devon was 7th. Number 6, Oxford Girl was the winner. Number 7, Outspoken Izzy was 2nd. Time of the first quarter was 28 4/5. The half was in 58 2/5. The 3 quarters in 129, with a mile in 158 2/5. From the top it should read 5, 3, 6, 4, 7, 1, 2 on the bottom. The mile in 158 2/5. First lifetime win for Oxford Girl. In race 5, there'll be win, place, show, exact.
Okay, that's the 5th coming up. No driver changes that we know of, so it should go as programmed. It's the 2nd of 2 divisions of the 2-year-old filly trotters. Going to go for a purse of $6,560.
That's right.
We'll take a break for some commercials, and we'll be right back.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com for fast shipping. Most orders ship that day. Or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Cool Winds Farm in Lima, Ohio is a full-service standardbred breeding farm. Cool Winds stands the popular Dancing Yankee, a 2-time world champion, along with 2019 jug winner Southwind Ozzy, the son of Some Beach Somewhere. Cool Winds also stands the royally bred $2 million earning Western Fame. Be sure to inspect the Cool Winds yearlings at the Ohio Selected Jug Sale at Pickaway on Friday, September 13th.
Do you want your horse to shine in the winner's circle? Feed DAC Oil. It makes a world of difference.
Okay, here we are back at the Seneca County Fair here in Tiffin, Ohio. Beautiful night. It's just you couldn't ask for a better summer night than this one is. That's for sure.
That's right. It's like that racetrack, pitch perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are, as we said, you talked about the track maintenance before, how important that is. And the tracks where there are horsemen stabled there all the time are usually just a little bit better than those that lay dormant for the year and then just get ready. But we got a lot of dedicated people across this state that keep those tracks going. So
and you can earn a reputation as a good track man and be well sought after.
Yeah. We talk a lot about different jobs in the industry, and a track guy.
That's
is
another
one.
one.
Of the big, yeah.
The other night we were going through all the different jobs that, are on display here just to get this meet going. And it's amazing. You just don't stop and think about it.
Right.
It's a lot more than the horses and the trainers and drivers.
Yeah. That's what you think about. And we have a great book at the OHHA office that the Harness Horse Youth Foundation and the United States Trotting Association put together, and it's just careers in racing. And it talks about everything from the back side of the track where the horses stay, where they need the care, to the front side, to the officials' jobs, even as far as the totalizators, the betting windows. I mean,
and some of them are state jobs. Yeah,
yes.
State jobs.
Yep.
So. Well, you're talking about things you can do if you're interested, or sometimes people like to reminisce or learn about the history of the sport. Facebook has a great group, Facebook page called Harness Racing History, and I like to look at that. It brings back memories sometimes. You'll say, oh, I saw that horse, or I remember that night, but I think for people, the fans at home, or even horsemen, it's a great group if you like to look at some of the past.
Yeah.
Even the recent past, they'll put on Harness Racing History.
Right. And talking about that book, if anybody would be interested in a copy of that book, we can send it out to you. You can just call the office, the OHHA office, or send us an email. You can send an email to info@ohha.com. So that's info@ohha.com, and we'll get you out one of those careers in racing. Maybe you've got a grandson or granddaughter or a kid that's getting about that age that they're thinking about what they might want to do. And this is a great resource. And there is also a listing of the scholarships. We're getting ready to announce scholarships that the OHHA gives out, and there's a lot of scholarships for kids that are from harness racing families or have some connection with harness racing.
Or even like
cool
Susan,
stuff.
find a job at the Horsemen's Association. Actually, the Horsemen's Association, that's what it's for. It's for the horsemen, and there's a wide swath of things that covers. And Susan could tell you a lot more about it than I could, but everything like you mentioned, plus a lot more. Back to the history about these horses, it wasn't just 2-year-olds. Again, I like to read about the history of it. Talk about a precocious young filly. There was once a yearling filly that went against the clock in 1909 when they used to do Just for Time, and she trotted a mile in 2:19.5. Now, we don't even measure time by halves or quarters anymore, but 2:19.5 in 1909. Miss Stokes was her name. Trotted that mile 2:19.5.
Yeah, I don't know what year they stopped
yearling.
doing the yearling races, but I know it's been a while.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Bob Roach said, think about the responsibility of the starter and their equipment, the truck with the folding wings working properly. And here is the big one, the liability insurance on the starter and his gate. That's very true. There's starting judges, people that have a starting gate. Those are so needed. We're lucky in the state of Ohio that we've got two, got the Webb-Convert gate and the Mount starting gate that service almost all of the fairs in Ohio. But that's a big investment in that business. It's almost like having a restaurant or a little store that you have to run. It's a big investment.
They're gathering them up here, trying to have the post parade. You want to start here? Or?
Yep, this 2-year-old filly trot. LT Madonna. Clifton Bell will drive for Curtis Massey. Massey, Mason, Jury, and Mays are the owners of this long-time filly. She's out of a credit winner mare. Holy Mary has had 3 starts this year, has been making some breaks. One flat mile that she had was at Marion and she trotted in 2:13 and 1.
Rory Moore does everything on Bank It. This 2-year-old filly by Break the Bank is owned, trained, driven, and bred by Rory Moore. And she has had 3 starts on the season. She made a break last time out, was 4th the start before, and broke the start before that. And this is her 4th appearance tonight from post position 2.
Dietz Lightning and Dan Veneer. Dan also trains, and Veneer Racing, J&L Saunders, and Schubert Racing are the owners. This is a And Away We Go filly out of Rose Run Leah, who's by Train for the Future.
Filly trot. A purse of $6,560 and a blanket courtesy of Republic Elevator and Fee. Number 1 is LT Modana, all by Gene Massey of Sycamore, Ohio. Ian Mason, Patricia Jury, and Jim Mays of Bucyrus, trained by Kurt Massey, the driver Clifton Bell. Number 2 is Bank It, owned, trained, and driven by Rory Moore of Grafton. Number 3 is Dietz Lighting, all by Venier Racing, Pemberville, Ohio. John and Leanne Saunders of Castle Rock, Colorado. And Schuberg Racing of Marathon, Florida, trained and driven by Dan Venier. Number 4 is Sweet Misery, owned by Kim Haver of Bellevue, Michigan, trained by Jason Hanna, the driver Cameron McCown. Number 5 is Mercy Marcy, owned by Ryan Stahl of Republic, Watson Harness Racing, and Kendall Suki of Tiffin, and Billy Hart of Carmel, Maine, trained and driven by Ryan Stahl. Number 6 is Millie May, owned by John Schleybaugh of Millersburg, Ohio, Walnut View Farm of Walnut Creek, Ohio, and Leroy Kime of Millersburg, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Horses will take 1 score and go to the gate.
Okay, we'll go back to Dietz Lighting. This horse has had 4 starts this year, 2 wins, one at just recently at Oak Harbor in 2-7, and also one at Marion in 2-11 and 4. Did win the race at Bellefontaine. I'm not sure what happened, but it was placed 7th in that race. So in actuality, the horse thinks it won 3 races this year.
Exactly. The Black Filly by Triumphant Caviar is the 4-horse Sweet Misery, trained by Jason Hanna, owned by Kim Haver of Bellevue, Michigan, Cam McCown in the bike. This one has not raced for any money, but they took it to the qualifier at Hoosier Park in Indiana, and she qualified and trotted in 2:02 and 4. John DeLong was in the bike there, but she's had 1 prep, and she's ready to go tonight.
Merci Marcy and Ryan Stahl from the 5-hole. Ryan is the trainer. Also co-owns this horse along with Watson Harness Racing, Kay Stuckey, and W.A. Hart. This is a first 1 start for this filly. That was at Oak Harbor, where she won in 2-9 and 1. So this will just be her 2nd lifetime start.
She's at 1,000%. I'm sure she 6 Millie May, Drew Neal in the bike for trainer Rosie Weaver. It's a long Tom filly out of Agenda Tom Ridge by Tom Ridge, Walnut View Farm of Walnut Creek, Ohio, and Larry Kime of Millersburg, Ohio, along with John Schleybaugh of Millersburg, Ohio, own this one. She's had 2 starts on the year. Last time out at Scioto Downs, they had her in the Buckeye Stallion Series and had the post 9. She made a break. Start before that, she qualified at Delaware, and she made an appearance at Paulding back on June 11th, where she finished 3rd. 2 starts only.
You can go back on some of our matinee madness and see some of these horses when they were just making their very first start. In the first couple starts of the year, we went back and we could see if we talked about if those horses had been in a matinee, but now it's kind of farther and they've all got their own lines. Most of them have their own lines, but some of them are just getting started. There's a lot of racing and a lot of money to go for in the later part of the year. So these horses that are just getting started, it doesn't matter. There's plenty of time for them. The Fair Championship this year isn't until October 19th at Northfield Park, so that's pretty late.
It's actually turned out to be a long season for the youngsters.
Yes, it certainly has. The Buckeye Stallion Series finals are October 5th at Dayton Raceway. The Ohio Sire Stakes finals are October 12th and 13th at Northfield Park. So lots of good racing there in October. These babies are going to go for lots of money. So
typically, not too long ago, it used to be like the end of September was about it, mid to end of September.
And I think it kind of depends on which track, because the tracks get these series finals on a rotating basis. So like when Scioto had it last year, it was done a little bit earlier because their meet closes. So it just kind of depends who's getting what. And it takes a lot to manage a horse to keep him going from June through October, especially a 2-year-old. It's a lot of fine tuning all the time and managing these horses so that they're still fresh at the end of the year.
That's true. And like horses of all ages, whether it's the babies or our race horses, just like we don't like to work all the time, they need some breaks in the action too. Freshened up, as they say.
Yep. A lot of people turn their horses out into a small paddock or something to get their mindset a little bit. A lot of people are riding them too now to get a little different view for the horses than just around and around and around a circle. So
yes, our horses are capable of doing many different persuasions. Riding's an easy one for them. They make that transition easily.
Yeah, absolutely do. So the second of 2 divisions of the 2-year-old filly trot, from the rail out, LT Madonna and Clifton Bell, Bankit and Rory Moore, Dietz Lighting and Dan Venier, Sweet Misery, Cam McCowan, Mercy Marcy, Ryan Stahl, and Millie May, Drew Neal.
Here they come. They're off and trotting. The first horse away in the middle of the track is Dietz Lighting. Up on the outside second is Mercy Marcy. On the extreme outside third is Millie May. Down at the rail fourth, that is Bankit, but Bankit goes off stride. Now taking over fourth at the rail is LT Modana, and moving up fifth, that is Sweet Misery. Off stride now goes Millie May. As they head down the backside to race over that quarter-mile mark, Dan Venier has Dietz Lighting on top by 2 lengths. Trotting in there second, that is Mercy Marcy, driven by Ryan Stahl. Back trotting third, that is Drew Deal there with Millie May. 31-1. First quarter trotted in 31 and 1/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stand for the first time, Millie May goes off stride once again. With the lead, that is Dietz Lighting. Still trotting in there second, that's Mercy Marcy. Moving up third is Sweet Misery. Taking over fourth is LT Modana. Back trotting fifth, that is Millie May. And the last horse as they race down toward the half, coming to the half-mile mark, that is Bankit. Past the half-mile mark, that is Dietz Lighting with the lead by 2.5 lengths over Mercy Marcy. 101 and 3. First half trotted in 101 and 3/5 as they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Dietz Lighting. The closest horse second is Mercy Marcy. Racing third is Sweet Misery. Moving up fourth on the outside now is Millie May. Dropping back fifth is LT Modana. The last horse is Bankit. The pace picks up a wee bit going to the 3/4 mile mark, and Dietz Lighting opens up about 6 lengths now on Mercy Marcy. 32 and 2. 3/4 in 132 and 2/5 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Dietz Lighting on top. At the rail second, that's Mercy Marcy. On the outside third, Sweet Misery. Moving up fourth is Millie May. Fifth is LT Modana. The last horse, Bankit. Horses are strung out as they race toward home. That's Dietz Lighting and Sweet Misery. It's going to be Dietz Lighting, and here the outcome. Sweet Misery up for place, up for show is Mercy Marcy. 1 mile in 2:02 and 3/5.
The record was 2:01.
So, a look over his shoulder as he was crossing the finish line. Dan Venier, he took a peek behind him. He had open lengths before the 5. Mercy Marcy, I believe, was second. And maybe Sweet Misery third, 3, 5, 4. What did you have, Susan?
I had it the other way. I had 3, 4, 5.
Maybe that's what it was.
But
I was
not sure.
I'm not sure either because I was concentrating on the winner there. That's when you say when they make it to the top like that, and it's their race to win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
And she stayed at her business, and it was an easy victory for this one. 2:02 and 3.
Nice new lifetime mark, 2:2 and 3. She did. Fastest she had before was 2:7 at Oak Harbor. This is a very savvy harness racing crowd. As you can tell, when a horse makes a break, you hear this collective groan. So, you know, sometimes when there's not, these people know harness racing, that's for sure.
We're always happy to have people learn about it, though.
Yes.
Introduce more people to this great sport. It's an all-American sport, basically, because this breed was actually formed here in America. Lots of different breeds go into the standard bred, but our foundation sire, Hambletonian, whether it's trotters or pacers.
Waiting for Dietz Lighting to come back to the winner's circle. Know which direction he's coming from. Matt must know because he's got the camera pointed.
Now, sometimes you wonder how the name came about. This one, I wonder, is this a business, somebody's business, Dietz Lightning? Because, and away we go. It's not from the sire.
Right.
Go coming in from Pemberville, Ohio, Castle Rock, Colorado, and Marathon, Florida, comes number 3, Dietz Lighting. All by Venier Racing, John and Leanne Saunders, and Schuberg Racing, trained and given a victory by Dan Venier. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Republic Elevator and Feed.
It looks like they're bringing more T-shirts over, and Paisley's waiting to throw them.
I think she has a lot of fun.
Elevator and Feed, the donors of the blanket.
We should have the results momentarily.
You were right, Susan. It's 3-4. It's on the board.
Race 5 from the top. Number 1, LT Modana was 4th. Number 2, Bankit was 6th. Number 3, Dietz Lighting was the winner. Number 4, Sweet Misery was 2nd. Number 5, Mercy Marcy was 3rd. Number 6, Millie May was 5th. Time of the first quarter was 31 1/5. The half was in 101 3/5. The 3 quarters in 132 2/5. With a mile in 202 3/5. From the top it should read 461 235. A mile in 202 3/5. New lifetime mark on Dietz Lighting. In the upcoming race 6, number 4, Drew. The driver will be Rod Adams Jr. Rod Adams Jr. will drive number 4, Drew. Number 5, Pat King Cole. The driver will be Cameron Keena. Cameron Keena will drive number 5, Pat King Cole. Number 6, Eisenman. The driver will be Greg Bateson. Greg Bateson will drive number 6, Eisenman. Need a representative of Combach Feeds.
Hey, Matt, can you get a shot of Paisley when she starts to throw? She's got her arms full. She's the little girl, the young
with
lady
the braid.
with the braid down her back. Because you all got to see this, because this girl can throw.
She's enthusiastic, too.
Yeah. Getting ready to throw out the T-shirts that they've got here from the Seneca County Horsemen.
All right, here comes more T-shirts.
Maybe she's going to move down here a little bit.
Oh, they've changed her location.
Yeah, if you're not sitting in the back rows, you're not going to get one from Paisley. That was a lob. Come on, Paisley, wing it.
There you go. That was way up there. Way up there. There.
I just noticed she's a lefty too. Man, she's got a future. There she goes. Thank the Seneca County Horsemen for everything that they do here at Tiffin. So we've got 5 races in the books.
4 to go.
Yep, 6th race coming up is the second of 2 divisions of the 2-year-old colt Pace, going for a purse of $6,930. So we'll be back after these messages.
Volstead, Coach K Hanover, Slay. Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner. And Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms.
Own a little and love it a lot. Thestable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. Thestable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661.
The money is getting really spread out here at Tiffin. The trainers, the only trainers that has had more than one win. Okay. Oh, that's better. We had a big old giant delay again for a few, so that's why I sounded kind of strange. But what I was saying was that the money's really being spread out. Ryan Stahl has 2. Every other trainer has 1 win, so everybody's going to go home with some good money here from this Tiffin meet.
Yes, that's nice. Spread the wealth. So this 6th race featuring our 2-year-old colt pacers. And we have that full field of 7 with a few changes you probably caught from the announcer. But shall we start taking a look at these?
Yeah, the one Legend Air Ray Cam McCowan up for Jason Hanna. Mr. Kim Haver from Bellevue, Michigan is the owner and also the breeder. This is a bit of a legend. N out of Lila Ray, who is by Cheyenne Ray. Very first lifetime start.
Pierce Henry shows up here as the trainer and the driver of Real Trooper, owned by Jeff Bell of Defiance, Ohio. This one had 3 starts on the season thus far, with the 3rd last time out. And fastest mile shows down there at Paulding in 2:03 and 4.
Bounding Delight and Drew Neal from the 3 for trainer owner Rosie Weaver. Heartland Acres also co-owns this Fear the Dragon colt out of a Bettor's Delight mare, Bound to Be Good. Won his very first start of the year at Paulding in 2:7 and 4. Then went to Delaware for a qualifier, qualified in 2:1 and 1. Marion, unfortunately, made some breaks late in the mile and finished 5th.
Grew is being driven by Rod Allums Jr. for trainer Jane Weller. Rod Allums Jr. has been in the bike behind Grew in all of his starts, which are 2 strong, making the 3rd appearance tonight. Has a pair of 4ths and $749 earned.
Pat King Cole and Cameron Keena will lead from the 5-hole. Brian Boring is the trainer and the owner. This is a Rodeo Romeo out of an Hawaiian Cowboy mare, late night arrival. Scratch 6th his last start at Bell Fountain. Did have a start at Marion where finished 5th and paces mile in 2:10 and 1.
And the 6th horse, I heard the announcer call it I's a Man, but I would say Is a Man. Not sure which is right. Trainer Tyler Bates. Maybe someone in the audience knows about that. Trainer Tyler Bates, Greg Bateson in the bike. It's a Rockin' Amadeus out of Tricky Trendy by Pine Valley. Suzanne Bates and Cedar Point Beach Racing own this one. And it's had 5 starts on the year with a 2nd and 2/3. 2nd last time out at Oak Harbor in a fair stakes, and David Lake was driving that time. Again, Greg Bateson gets the call tonight.
Ricky Merlot and Ryan Stahl from the 2nd tier, the 7-hole. Ryan Stahl trains and co-owns this horse along with Nicole Stahl, and Ryan and Nicole also are the breeders. This is a Rockin' Amadeus out of a La Ponderosa mare. Lucille Amarone has just had one start, and that was at Oak Harbor. Finished 5th, but paces mile in 2:5.
So that's the field. 7 horses strong in this one. I see the 6. I am interested in how that name is pronounced myself, but anyway, is on Lasix. We haven't talked about the Lasix horses. Lasix, of course, is allowed in Ohio, and it does help young horses and older horses from the stress sometimes of racing, what we call bleeding. Sometimes they just have some little capillaries break from the stress and strain. But Lasix is in use here in Ohio.
And I think especially with the younger horses, they get a little sick. You know, they get a little respiratory problem, just like your kindergartners go to school and they get a little around everybody else and they get a little cold or a little something. And sometimes then that turns into a little bit more serious, and Lasix sometimes will really help that. So,
with the mucus, yes.
Yeah, get rid of that mucus. So John is saying Iza man. He's doing it I-Z-A man. So
Iza man, not
Iza man.
Iza
I
man.
is a man, Iza man.
Iza man. We got it now. We won't make any mistakes again.
Not till the next race. It's funny because the most experienced horse in this whole race has just got 5 starts. So this is really what I would call a green field. You know, they don't have a whole lot of experience, so
and only one winner in the field.
Yeah. The start will be critical. So Matt is still singing. He's singing, I'm doing the best I can. Every time when Bill Peters says, go ahead, Matt, I'm thinking that he's talking about Matt Clark, and I'm wondering, what are you supposed to be doing there, Matt?
Matt Clark, our cameraman.
Yeah, but it's Matt the singer. And here we're going to have that bighorn do the call to the post.
Marcel putting post word for race 6. This is the second division of the 2-year-old colt pace. Going for a purse of $6,930 and a blanket courtesy of Comeback Feeds. One is Legend Airway, owned by Kim Haver, Bellevue, Michigan, trained by Jason Hanna, the driver Cameron McCown. Number 2 is Real Trooper, owned by Jeff Batt at Defiance, trained by Pierce Henry, driven by Pierce Henry. Number 3 is Bounding Delight, owned by Rosie Weaver, Beach City, Ohio, and Heartland Acres, Walhonding, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Number 4 is Grew, owned by Stephen Reese and Janie Weller of Republic, Ohio, trained by Janie Weller, the driver Rod Adams Jr. Number 5 is Pat King Cole, owned and trained by Brian Boring of Adrian, Michigan, the driver Cameron Keena. Number 6 is Eisenman, owned by Suzanne Bates of Gibsonburg, Ohio, and Cedar Point Beach Racing of Fremont, trained by Ty Bates, the driver Greg Bateson. Number 7 is Ricky Merlo, owned by Ryan and Nicole Stahl of Republic, trained and driven by Ryan Stahl. Horses will
So that is your post parade for race number 6. I was noticing, I'm not sure what that instrument was, as I said, but earlier they had a really tiny, tiny trumpet. It looked like it was about 6 inches long.
A bugle maybe of some kind, I don't know.
So the Korfman family has really been entertaining us with the call to the post, and of course they did the national anthem earlier in the card, so it's kind of fun to have them here. And plus, they're horsemen. Daniel Korfman had a horse in yesterday in the 9th race yesterday, so he had plenty of time to blow the horn before he had to get his horse warmed up.
So belonging to the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is a benefit for owners, trainers, drivers, and also I'm sure that there are some that are not currently an owner, trainer, or driver that keep their membership.
Yeah.
Lots of benefits, right, Susan?
Absolutely, and the caretakers is something that we fail to mention a lot, but we have a retirement plan for caretakers and an insurance plan. It does not cost the caretakers anything to get the insurance. So, I mean, medical insurance, that's such an important thing now. So certainly if you're thinking about if you have a job as a caretaker and you're not a member of the association, you should get to be. Your trainer has to sign you up for the insurance, but it's a great benefit. And like I said, a retirement plan.
There'll be a lot of people wanting to join and say, I'm a caretaker.
Yeah. You do have, it does have to be
You do have to
proven that-
prove.
Yeah, you work for, and you have to have a certain percentage of your income. But, when you're 20, 30, sometimes even 40, you think retirement plan, there's plenty of time for that. But the earlier you start, the better that little pot of retirement money gets for you. So if you can just put away a little bit, and if you Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association puts a little bit in there for you, that can really be a big help when you're older.
That's one of the perks. Some of the other perks I think I know is that you have insurance coverage on sulkies, correct? On our race bikes.
Yes. Insurance coverage on that. And as I said, retirement not only for the caretakers, but for drivers and trainers, and the health insurance. A lot of great benefits to becoming a member of the Ohio Harness Horsemen.
Yes, not all Horsemen's Association are created equal.
Right.
Ohio does a lot for the horsemen here in this great state.
Yeah, we really do try to do extra things. We also do a tremendous amount of outreach. Not just this is our biggest project for sure, but, we go to the Equine Affair and talk about harness racing. We just went to Breyer Fest. We go to FFA convention, both the Ohio chapter and the national chapter. So trying to get the word out to the younger people that
you have booths at the Delaware County Fair, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Have a booth, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so the 2-year-old colt Pacers headed to the gate from the rail out. Legend Air Ray, Real Trooper, Bounding Delight, Grew, Pat King Cole, Isaman, and Ricky Merlot from the second tier.
Here they come. They're off and pacing. The first horse away is Bounding Delight. Now taking over along the rail is Real Trooper. Moving in there between horses third, that's Grew. Up on the outside fourth is Isaman. Down at the rail fifth, that is Ricky Merlot. Offside there went Bounding Delight. As they make the turn now, heading down the backside to race over toward that quarter-mile mark. Pierce Henry has Real Trooper on top by 1 length. Dropping in there second is Grew, driven by Rod Adams Jr. Up on the outside third is Isaman, driven by Greg Bateson. In there fourth is Ricky Merlot, driven by Ryan Stahl. Racing fifth is Legend Air Ray, driven by Cameron McCown. Sixth is Pat King Cole, driven by Cameron Keena. The last horse, Bounding Delight, driven by Drew Neal. First quarter is paced in 30 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, now Isaman is paced up to gain command by 1.5 lengths. Pacing second is Real Trooper. In there third is Grew. Coming down to the half, Ricky Merlot is in there fourth. Moving up on the outside fifth is Legend Air Ray. Sixth, it is Pat King Cole, the last horse, Bounding Delight. Past the half-mile mark, that's still Isaman with the lead. First half paced in 59 and 4/5 seconds. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. That's Isaman with the lead. Up on the outside second is Legend Air Ray. At the rail third is Real Trooper. Moving up fourth is Grew. Moving up fifth is Ricky Merlot. In there sixth is Pat King Cole. And the last horse going down the backside is Bounding Delight. Going to the 3/4 mile mark. Still with the lead, that is Isaman. Now regaining second is Real Trooper. Up on the outside third comes Grew. 3 quarters and 1:31 and 2/5 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Isaman with the lead. Up on the outside second now is Grew. At the rail third is Real Trooper. Ricky Merlot is in there fourth. Pat King Cole racing fifth. As they race for home, that's Grew on the outside. Isaman along the rail. As they race through the lane, that's Grew and Isaman. Grew on the outside, Isaman at the rail. Grew, Isaman, and Real Trooper closing fast now, but it's going to be Grew, and here they all come. Real Trooper up for pace, Isaman for show.
2:02 and 1.
A mile and 2:02 and 1/5.
So that one had some action too, Susan. We had an exchange of leads. First it was Real Trooper, then it was Isaman, and then Grew, the eventual winner.
That was, as you said, an action-filled race. I saw the first-time starter, Legend Air Ray, just took off like a shot and made up a whole bunch of ground, and then it was like he said, "What? I'm done. I have to stop now." So,
and actually 3 Bounding Delight that was the only one that had a win before. broke here in the first turn and then made another break, and he actually looked to me like he has a lot of speed. He just was almost losing his rhythm.
Yes.
Pacing faster than he could handle.
And it was strange when he left the gate. Looked like he kind of kept following the gate. He went way wide in that first turn. Looked a little odd, like he just didn't know how to go around.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as we said, the most experienced horse in this race had 5 starts, so everybody was really green in this race.
And still, it was a very good mile, very exciting mile. And the winner's spoils go to Gru, first time hitting the board in this third lifetime appearance for Jane Weller, Rod Allums Jr. in the bike.
And that gives Rod the second win of the meet here. And Jane Weller, her second training win.
And maybe we'll get to see someone patting this one on the nose again,
I'm pretty
too.
sure, yeah. Walking over to the winner's circle is Pam Weller, who is our charter today. She is the clerk and charter at many fairs, so you'll see her out in the middle of the track there doing her charting during the races.
Yeah, I had Real Trooper, the 2, finishing second, I believe, in the 6. I thought Eisenman was third.
That's what I got, too.
Coming from right here in Seneca County, Republic, Ohio, comes number 4, Gru, owned by Stephen Reese and Janie Weller, trained by Janie Weller, and driven to victory this evening by Rod Allums Jr. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Comeback Feeds.
Lots of little ones in this winner's circle picture tonight. Standing very nicely like a pro.
Yes.
That's what I have here for Gru and all concerned, and the Comeback Feeds, the donors of the blanket.
That horse is very calm after racing. Some of them are so hyped up they don't hardly like to stand still for a picture.
The 1 Legend Air Ray was 7th. Number 2 Real Trooper was 2nd. Number 3 Bounding Delight was 6th. Number 4 Gru was the winner. Number 5 Pat King Cole was 5th. Number 6 Eisenman was 3rd. Number 7 Ricky Merlot was 4th. Time of the first quarter was 30 seconds. The half was in 59 4/5. The 3/4 in 131 2/5. With a mile in 202 1/5. From the top it should read 726 153. 4 on the bottom. A mile in 202 1/5. In the upcoming race 7, number 1 Zoned, change the driver to Mark St. Louis Jr. Mark St. Louis Jr. will drive number 1 Zoned in race 7. Number 5 Grover Hill, the driver will be Pierce Henry. Pierce Henry driving number 5 Grover Hill. There will be win.
Okay, that is 6 races in the book, 7th coming up. We see that we have something on our feed that we're going to have Matt try and get rid of that person who's, I don't know what they're doing, but they're kind of spamming everything. So Matt will get rid of that person instead of letting them keep on doing that. So we're going to have a commercial break, and then we're going to be back for race number 7, the second of 2 divisions of the 3-year-old colt trot.
West Virginia.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Long Tom, Summa Cum Laude, Ready for Money, and Bit of a Legend. See our yearlings at the Blooded Horse Sale August 27th and the Ohio Select Sale September 13th.
For over 100 years, the values at CoverLink Insurance have been clear. Do the right thing. These values have been at the forefront of what we do, and that will never change. At CoverLink Insurance, you're a person, not a policy. We're here to get you the right coverage: home, auto, business, and farm. CoverLink covers you.
So we're back, and it's the 7th race, a 1-mile trot for a purse of $6,300. The spotlight is on the 3-year-old trotters. 3-year-old colt trot here, field of 6 with just a couple of drivers' changes. The one with Zone was a late change to Mark St. Louis Jr. Again, he won 2 races last night, so might as well dive in and look at the field here. The one is Zone. Mark St. Louis Jr. gets a call for trainer John Payne. John Payne is also the owner, and this one has had 15 starts this season so far with 2 wins and 6 thirds. So making some money here, $23,860 and a mark of 156.4 at Scioto Downs.
CS Door Prize and Drew Neal from the 2 for Rosie Weaver. Gerald Hawks is the owner of this Enterprise colt out of a DeJarmbro mare. Open door policy. It's had 7 starts this year and 2 wins. 2 starts back at Cortland, and then back in June, 1 at the Meadows in Pennsylvania in 58.4.
It's Jay Weller in the bike. He's also the trainer of Hill Tabor and owns this horse along with Louise A. Weller. It's a What the Hill gelding out of Cantabie, a Cantab Hall mare. Last race at Bucyrus on July 17th. And made a break, made a mistake, was distanced, went in 2-6, however, has had 5 starts, 1 third so far.
Super Begonia and Eric Haynes have the 4-hole. Cheryl Haynes is the trainer and co-owns this horse with Marion Haynes. Cheryl is also the breeder. This is an Enterprise colt out of a striking Sabre mare, Sprightly Begonia. I said just 1 start this year. That was at Oak Harbor, where he finished back. Had 10 starts as a 2-year-old. And finished second at a second at, I think that's Centerville, maybe. Finished second there in 2:13.1, but did trot in 2:9 as a 2-year-old.
Speaking of what they did as 2-year-olds, Grover Hill, the 5-horse, had 14 starts and went to the winner's circle 6 times last year as a 2-year-old, earning $34,109 that season. Looks like back on the winning ways, though, has back-to-back wins here. Coming into tonight's appearance, 6 starts, 2 wins. Both of the wins were handy wins for this one, despite the fact that 2 back, he made a break before and right after the start. But on a winning streak, that's Grover Hill, Pierce Henry in the bike for trainer Tyler Bates, and Sean J. McGee from Swanton, Ohio. McGee.
Roxy's Tom and Clifton Bell from the 6 for trainer Bill Webb. Larry Steinem is the owner and also bred this colt. It's a long Tom out of Jailhouse Jesse, who is out of a Jailhouse Jesse mare, Jailhouse Roxy. Finished second his last start out at Oak Harbor. Trotted his mile in 2 minutes and 2/5. Last quarter in 28.4. This colt has just had, this is his 6th start this year. One of those horses that we talked about earlier that maybe just wasn't quite ready. Had 1 start as a 2-year-old, and then they quit with him.
So the spotlight here on the 3-year-old trotters. Pretty soon there'll be a national spotlight on 3-year-old trotters. That is, it's coming close to Hambletonian time, which is the premier crown of glory, I think, for sophomore trotters in the United States.
Absolutely, the Meadowlands does such a good job, although I'm more partial to it when it used to be at DuQuoin.
Oh, me too. Illinois. Now, that's something we could talk a lot about. You talk about putting on a show.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fabulous. That's where my dad really never got much vacation in the business he was, but we always made our trips. He'd take us kids, and my mom would make fried chicken, potato salad, baked beans, and all these things, and she'd feed a lot of the people on the backstretch, different grooms and things. We'd have such a great time going to the Hambletonian down there at Hayes Fair Acres.
Yep.
They had such a beautiful backdrop, and I can't even, the music, they'd have events at night, just a fabulous, I would wax nostalgically if we could bring that back too.
Yeah, the Hayes family really took care of the horsemen well.
Yes, they
down
did.
There it was always said to be the second state fair in the state of Illinois, but what a beautiful, beautiful place it was to race.
I got to see my favorite trotter when I was a young girl race and win there. And he didn't do it there. He did it in Indianapolis. But that horse that I'm talking about, I'm going to ask a trivia question for the fans, see if they know it. The horse that I'm speaking of broke Greyhound's trotting record of 155 1/4 back in 1969. What horse was that?
Ooh. Somebody's going to get it.
There, because they're always telling us now. They can tell me what horse was it that I loved and followed, and actually, very exciting horse. I thought he looked like a freight train coming down the stretch.
Well, we have got the long bugle this time. That bugle's almost as tall as Faye Korfman is, so she's going to give us the call to the post, and it's the long bugle.
Our separating post word for race 7. That's the second division of the 3-year-old colt trot. Going for a purse of $6,300 and a blanket courtesy of Taylor Dugan Farrier. Number 1 is Zoned, owned and trained by John Payne of Toledo, the driver Mark St. Louis Jr. Number 2 is C.S. Door Prize, owned by Gerald Hawks of Jeddo, Michigan, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Deal. Number 3 is Hill Tabber, owned by Jay and Louise Weller of Republic, trained and owned by Jay Weller. Number 4 is Super Begonia, owned by Sherald and Marion Haynes of Blissfield, Michigan, trained by Sherald Haynes, the driver Eric Haynes. Number 5 is Grover Hill, owned by Sean McGee of Swan, trained by Ty Bates, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 6 is Roxy's Tom, owned by Larry Steeman of Middle Point, Ohio, trained by Bill Webb, the driver Clifton Bell. Horses will take one score and go to the gate. Mutual windows closing in 4 minutes. There's win, place.
We've already got lots of answers for you.
Okay.
I'm thinking majority of the people picked Neville Pride.
And that's right. It was 31 years prior that, and they are correct. Yes, Neville Pride, he had supposedly, he's well known for having a very nasty disposition and having hurt a couple people. He was kind of a mean stallion. Stanley Dancer trained and drove, but he was a very handsome horse. And when he was a 2-year-old, not the 3-year-old year, but like I said, my mom and dad took care of a lot of the grooms and stuff. Anyway, and I got my picture as he was cooling out, standing next to, I think it was a big Swede that took care of him that year. And I just have a little Polaroid. But nothing happened to me. I was safe.
Yeah, he did get, he was in the breeding shed, he was not the kindest stallion around, that's for sure. They had to feed him around with poles.
Some bad stories. How they'd go out in the field to catch him and everything, I know.
Yeah.
We don't have that many really mean stallions, but he was famous for that.
He just happened to be, but he was a great racehorse, as you said. So, Zach Bauman picked Super Bowl.
Nope.
Mark Reinhardt, you were the first person to say Neville Pride, so we're going to send you something, Mark. Not sure what it's going to be, but you send us something. Mark, if you can, I think we probably have your address, but send it to us again. Send it to info@ohha.com, and we'll get you out some kind of a prize. So Mark Reinhardt was the first one. Rusty Voorhees guessed, Elizabeth Hennessy and Tyler Bates all guessed Neville Pride.
Well, Elizabeth Hennessy should have known who I was talking about for sure. That's my sister-in-law. Yeah, Elizabeth Hennessy shout, but yes. So she probably knew. She probably had an inkling. It's my brother Rick's wife. Yeah. I didn't know she was listening, but that's great.
We've had a lot of people on with us tonight from all over the place, and we sure appreciate everybody that's been hanging on. We had a suggestion from Mark. Where is that? That was before we got the bot spammer or whatever they call them. We had two people that said, squash the bot, Matt Kirk. And I guess Matt did squash the bot. So somebody said, boy, this person really did that a lot.
Yeah, not very nice.
No.
That's not good social media manners.
No, it is definitely not.
But we're happy here. We're going to move on with this race as these 3-year-old trotters get ready to get behind the starting car.
Then comes CS Door Prize, Hill Tabber, Super Begonia, Grover Hill with Roxy's Tom on the outside. They're at the post. Starting gate is rolling now. Here they come. They're off and trotting. The first horse away at the rail is Zoned. Up on the outside second is Grover Hill. At the rail third, that's CS Door Prize. On the outside fourth is Super Begonia. Racing in their fifth is Hill Tabber. And the last horse is Roxy's Tom. Off stride now goes Super Begonia. As they head down the backside, the racer toward that quarter-mile mark. Grover Hill on the outside, driven by Pierce Henry, shows on top. At the rail second, that's Zone, driven by Mark St. Louis Jr. Over farther back third comes CS Door Prize, driven by Drew Neal. Racing fourth, Roxy's Tom, driven by Clifton Bell. Fifth is Hill Tabber, driven by Jay Weller. And the last horse, Super Begonia, driven by Eric Haynes. First quarter trotted in 28 1/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, horses are strung out a wee bit. That's Grover Hill on top. Racing in there second, that is Zoned. Moving along third at the rail, that's CS Door Prize. Fourth is Roxy's Tom. Fifth is Super Begonia, and the last horse is Hill Tabber. Past the half-mile mark, that's Grover Hill by 2.5 lengths over Zoned. First half trotted in 57 1/5 seconds. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Grover Hill. The closest horse second is Zone, but moving up on the outside third and trotting fastest of all is CS Door Prize. Fourth is Roxy's Tom. Super Begonia is fifth. Offside six is Hill Tabber. Going to the 3/4 mile mark. Moving up to the outside to gain command now. That is CS Door Prize. Grover Hill second at the rail. Now moving up on the outside third is Zoned, and racing fourth is Roxy's Tom. 3/4 in 1:28 2/5 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's CS Door Prize with the lead. Zoned is second and trying to go on along with Roxy's Tom. Dropping back fourth is Grover Hill as they race for home. That's CS Door Prize. Zoned and Roxy's Tom. CS Door Prize. Zoned and Roxy's Tom. CS Door Prize thrill. Zoned on the outside. CS Door Prize and Zoned. It's tight at the wire between Zoned and CS Door Prize. Up for third was Roxy's Tom. 59 Mile in 1:59 3/5.
Okay, that was a nice mile, but the Zoned and Grover Hill hooked up early in a ding-dong battle for the lead. And then finally, it was Zone that backed off momentarily. And then, of course, we had the CS Door Prize, I think, made the big move on both of them. They had spent themselves pretty well in that early battle. But I don't know whether Zone, it's a photo.
It's a photo,
2 and
yep.
1.
Yep, I'm not sure either. Looked to me like Drew Neal and CS Door Prize got it.
That was my lean, was the two.
Not quite sure. Grover Hill cut out wicked fractions. but then got a little bit tired once he got headed. So that was.
Is that the new, what was it? Yeah, new track record, because the other one was 1:59 and 4. There we go.
Yep.
We got another track record. Here we go. We just have to see who it officially belongs to.
Yes.
I do, and so does Susan.
Yeah. Yeah, the fan's choice. We'll have to see what the photo says.
Well, I'm actually right on the post for the finish line, so
Okay.
I have.
See, actually, I think I am because I am directly between that and the photo finish line.
Yeah,
so
because it does
that's-
go.
Yeah, yeah. It's always hard to know. Sometimes we get in trouble when we set up really close to the finish line because people say, that's my seat. That's been my seat for the past 50 years. I'm sitting there, you move.
Squatters' rights.
Yeah, and we have had to move sometimes. So we try not to set up the equipment right on the line. But I think I'm pretty darn close.
Maybe it's right between us. We're about three.
It probably is, yeah.
3-4 feet apart, so it's probably right between us.
So there goes Tim's going across the track with the photo.
He didn't even give us a peek.
He didn't. Now, he's got to give it to the judges first, I guess. The Lynn Scott Photo is here doing photo finish tonight. That's they travel all over the place just like we do and the horsemen do to every place so that they've got a photo finish.
An all-important piece of equipment for the
Yeah.
racing.
And it's not just to distinguish who was first, who was second, or anything like that, but it's also to make sure that their final time is correct.
And
beaten
you can
lengths.
get the beaten
Yeah.
lengths, yes.
So CS Door
We were
Prize.
right. Darn, I like it when we're right.
Yeah. Young Drew Neal. Drew is just 24 years old and racing here for a while. Comes from Prince Edward Island originally.
And they love their racing, their harness
Yeah.
racing up there.
I'm going to have the Weaver clan coming out.
Down the track into the winner's circle. One of the winners go. Coming in from Jeddo, Michigan, comes number 2, CS Door Prize. Owned by Gerald Hawks, trained by Rosie Weaver, and driven to victory this evening by Drew Neal. And CS Door Prize has trotted to a new track record for 3-year-old colt trotters.
Rosie Weaver set a track record down at Marysville just a couple days ago also. So it's track records falling all over the place. That track record at Marysville, I know that was the all-age trot track record with Rose Run Zoom in 58 and 2. So a nice mile down there too.
And the Dialer Nugent Farrier, the donor of the blanket.
Well, officially, with our breed being less than a couple hundred years old, we are really evolving and getting much faster performers. And even our athleticism, it used to be more, they were a little bit more raw-boned and rugged, but you can see they're much more athletic looking now, much finer bone. They have, their heads aren't as long. They used to call them jug heads.
Number 5, Grover Hill.
They're
Number 6,
evolving.
Tom was 3rd. Time of the first quarter was 28 and 1/5. The half was in 57 and 1/5. The 3/4 in 128 and 1/5 with a mile in 159 and 3/5. From the top it should read 2:15.643, a mile in 159 and 3/5. And the upcoming race 8, number 2, Super Spirit, changed the driver to Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller will drive number 2, Super Spirit, in race 8. Number 5, Vroom and Vani, changed the driver to Drew Neal. Drew Neal will drive number 5, Vroom and Vani. Need a representative of Ewell.
We had a comment by Rusty Voorhees that said he always laughs out loud when hearing a ding-dong battle reminiscing of Chicago racing.
I must have been where I picked it up because that's where I was weaned on that, as I said. Actually, though, it's a pleasure. I sound like I'm really an old-timer, but my parents were taking us to the races in the early 60s. And, yeah, I remember picking up little kid picking up tickets. Learned my arithmetic that way, I like to say.
Yeah, everybody, that's how. You knew the 1 was red. You knew the 2 was, you
my
learned
mom
your
used
colors
to
and
tell me if she wanted to keep us busy to write the rundown, that's another thing. But also, having worked with Roger at the Meadows, whenever I have the race that's not quite the last one, you always, more often than not, hear that it's the 8th race coming up is our penultimate.
Yep.
Our penultimate race of the evening.
Well, we are going to get to see the photo here, so we're going to, before we take a break, we're going to get Matt to show you that. The photo for win for that last race.
Wow, that was close. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Tim, for stopping by with that. We're trying to get the photo finish guys to stop by with that because everybody at home wants to see it. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody that's here and everybody that's home. So, so we're coming up with the
at the fairs, though. I mean, we have tote boards that come that are like moving tote boards. They're not there all the time. So, and they don't have a television screen like the parimutuel tracks do. So it's hard to show certain things. Although I guess they could post them in the grandstand, like they used to post pictures.
They do. They will take. He took that copy down to the parimutuel windows, and they'll post it someplace down there. So
very good.
So this is the race that Matt's been waiting for, the Signature Series Trot, Seneca County Horsemen's Memorial Trot. We got 6 in it, some nice old trotters. So we're going to come back and look at these horses right after this.
The Seneca County Fair is one of the longest running fairs in the state of Ohio. The very first was held in Tiffin in October of 1842. It was a 3-day event featuring local livestock, produce, and homemade goods. Admission was 10 cents per person or $1 for the whole family. It was beyond successful, and the County Agricultural Society grew by 200 memberships. After a short hiatus, the fair was reorganized within the decade. The Society's new president had an idea to bring the fair even more traction, involve the women. Seneca County was one of the first fairs to display women's fancy needlework and sewing abilities. That idea still remains in the needlework department that is exhibited every year. In 1855, the Seneca County Union Racecourse was built, and the first horse races were held on the fairgrounds. Harness racing was popular and became a featured event for the fair. Less than 30 years after the first race was held, the Agricultural Society built a new Seneca County driving park. Here, horsemen could stable and train their horses year-round. Today, the Seneca County Fair hosts 2 days of live-action racing as a member of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference.
The roots of harness racing are born at the county fair. For over 150 years, people have gathered to watch horses battle it out for fame and glory. Catch the thrills this summer at an Ohio Fair Racing Conference County Fair. The OFRC races at 22 fairs in 20 Ohio counties. Trotters and pacers put it all on the line to be called the best in the Buckeye State. The Ohio Fair Racing Conference, where the path to greatness begins.
I'll start putting postword for race 8. This is the Seneca County Horseman's Memorial Trot for 4-year-olds and up, a part of the Signature Series, going for a purse of $2,200 and a blanket courtesy of Ewald's Furniture. Number 1 is Feisty Jim. He's a bay gelding, 10 years old by Triumphant Caviar, out of Feisty Kind of Love by Feisty GG, owned, trained and driven by Joe Wilson. Lifetime earnings over $53,000, a lifetime mark 154. Number 2 is Super Spirit. He's a bay gelding, 5 years old by Southwind Spirit, out of Rose Run Pearl by Chocolatier, owned and trained by Ann Russell, Britain, Michigan, driven this evening by Emmanuel Miller. Lifetime earnings over $54,000, a lifetime mark 201 4/5. Number 3 is E.R. Nelson. He's a bay gelding, 6 years old by Gusio, out of Need We Say More by Super Ben Joe, owned by Patrick Malloy Jr. and Lisa Goslin of Eaton, Ohio, trained and driven by Pat Malloy Jr. Lifetime earnings over $167,000, a lifetime mark 154 2/5. Number 4 is Stony Ridgetop. He's a bay gelding, 5 years old by Wishing Stone, out of Ruffle Shavers Ridges by Tom Ridge, owned by John Kineski III of Pemberville and Patrick Kineski of Bowling Green, trained and driven by John Kineski III. Lifetime earnings over $115,000, a lifetime mark 155 4/5, and he was the winner of this race last year. Number 5 is Vroom and Vonnie. She's a bay mare, 5 years old by Full Cow, out of Cindy Coy by Inquirer, owned by Chris Easterday of Bucyrus, trained by Carl Easterday Jr., driven this evening by Drew Neal. Lifetime earnings over $69,000, a lifetime mark 157 3/5. Number 6 is Cruisin' Cassie. He's a bay gelding, 9 years old by Cassis, out of Registered Nurse by Super Bowl, owned and trained by Becky Zubkoff of South Salem, Ohio, driven this evening by Mark St. Louis Jr., lifetime earnings over $314,000, a lifetime mark 155 4/5. Those are your horses for the 2024 Seneca County Horseman's Memorial Trot. Mutual windows closing.
That's some very nice trotters in this race, the Signature Series race. Signature Series has really expanded in the past few years. It used to be just at a few fairs, but now I think they're at 30, I'll get that exact number for you, 30-some fairs over the course of the summer. So it's just a great thing for the older horses to have some place to go and continue to race. 36 participating fairs.
Very nice. Actually, you know, there's a big age range even for the aged horses. For example, in this race, the youngest ones, we have a pair of 5-year-olds, a gelding that's a 5-year-old and a mare that's a 5-year-old. On the old side of it, the old man in this field is Feisty Jim, the 10-year-old from the rail. Our announcer did a good job of giving a lot of the lifetime statistics there, but the 9-year-old from post 6, Cruisin' Cassie, my goodness, another war horse, 246 lifetime starts, 29 wins, 34 seconds, 36 thirds, $314,897 earned the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stony Ridgetop coming off of a 3-win streak, won at Northfield in a conditioned race. In 56, won another Northfield in an amateur race where his owner and trainer, John Kineski, drove him, and then John drove him to a Signature Series win at Ottawa.
Well, actually, yes, obviously a very, very nice horse, and John Kineski III is choosing to use this horse in amateur races as well. He could go for a long time in amateur races if he chose, because I didn't know this until recently. Although it's 14 is the age for our race horses, if they're racing in the amateur races, they can race through 15. They add another year on it. So Stony Ridgetop hypothetically could be racing 10 years from now.
So these nice trotters are headed to the gate. We got from the rail out, we got Feisty Jim, Super Spirit, E.R. Nelson, Stony Ridgetop, Vroom and Vonnie, and Cruisin' Cassie. Let's turn it over to Bill Peters for the call of the Signature Series Trot.
Starter Bruce Patterson has called the trotters in. Feisty Jim, Super Spirit, E.R. Nelson, Stony Ridgetop, Vroom and Vonnie, and Cruisin' Cassie on the outside. Here they come. Here are off in the Seneca County Horseman Memorial Trot. The first horse away is Stony Ridgetop. Grubbing in there second, that's E.R. Nelson. Up on the outside third, that's Vroom and Vonnie. Racing at the rail fourth is Super Spirit. Moving up fifth is Cruisin' Cassie, and the last horse after going off stride is Feisty Jim. As they head down the backside of the race over towards that quarter-mile mark, John Kineski III has Stony Ridgetop on top by 2 lengths. Trotting second is E.R. Nelson, driven by Pat Malloy Jr. In their third, that's Vroom and Vonnie, driven by Drew Neal. Fourth, that is Super Spirit, driven by Emmanuel Miller. Fifth, that is Cruisin' Cassie, driven by Mark St. Louis Jr. And farther back, sixth is Feisty Jim, driven by Joe Wilson.
30 and 2.
First quarter trotted in 30 and 2/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, that's Stony Ridgetop by 2 lengths. Racing in there second, that's E.R. Nelson. Third along the rail, that's coming to the half-mile mark, that is Vroom and Vonnie. Moving along fourth is Super Spirit. A little closer fifth now is Cruisin' Cassie. The last horse, Feisty Jim.
59 and 2.
First half trotted in 59 and 2/5 seconds. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Stony Ridgetop. 2.5 lengths back second. That's E.R. Nelson. Still racing in their third. That's Vroom and Vonnie. Fourth along the rail, Super Spirit. Edging up a little closer fifth is Cruisin' Cassie. The last horse, Feisty Jim. Going to the 3/4 mile mark. Now Stony Ridgetop opens up 3.5 lengths on E.R. Nelson. Still racing in their third. That's Vroom and Vonnie. 3 quarters in 129 and 1/5 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. Now Stony Ridgetop shows on top by 4 lengths. Racing second, E.R. Nelson. Vroom and Vonnie races in their third. Moving up on the outside fourth is Cruisin' Cassie. As they race for home, that's Stony Ridgetop and E.R. Nelson. Stony Ridgetop and E.R. Nelson. It's got to be Stony Ridgetop. And here's the outcome. E.R. Nelson up for place, up for show is Vroom and Vonnie.
Second off. 57 and 4.
A mile in 1:57 and 4/5.
57 and 3.
What a mile for Stony Ridgetop. 4 in a row. I'm sure John is happy as can be. He's sitting behind that trotter. I don't know what more you could ask for.
No, very nice horse. And I'm sure he's probably had offers on this horse, as people are often looking for good trotters. There's lots of nice places to race good trotters for some good money.
Mm-hmm. And this is a 5-year-old Wishing Stone by a Tom Ridge mare, Ruffle Shaver Ridges. So 4 starts,
That's a
4 wins in a
mouthful.
row. Yes, it is. This is the Signature Series. The Colt Stakes that we had were run under the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. That's the circuit that puts these on here. And the Ohio Fair Racing Conference is also tomorrow at Paynesville and also at the Northfield on Friday night. It's the Summit County Fair races that are held at Northfield Park. And there are so many races, they had to move the post time. There are 20 races at Northfield on Friday night. With a 5 p.m. post, so they move their post up an hour in order to accommodate all those races.
Right, that is the one fair that is actually held at the Parimutuel Racetrack. Two.
Yep, Montgomery County Fair is at
also
Dayton, yeah.
At Dayton, yes. Oh, that's right, in the fall.
In the fall. So this is, those fairgrounds don't have their own tracks, so they shift them over to the Parimutuel track. So, and everybody wants to race their colts at Northfield in the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. 20 races. Matt Clark and Jay Wolf are going to have to bring snacks and pillows. See, Stony Ridgetop wears suspenders. You don't see many horses wearing suspenders on their knee boots anymore.
No, you do not. They tape them.
And trained over victory by John Kineski III.
This horse knows his way to the winner's circle. This is his 23rd lifetime win.
Yes, that is a case of Trotter getting better and better with age, I would say.
Rusty said, elder statesman John Konetsky and Stony Ridge Shop showed those young bucks.
Yes, I don't know what age has to do with it, but yes, John Konetsky has been around for a long time, you could say.
And Stony Ridge Top and the Ewald's Furniture, the donors of the blanket.
Stoney's just waiting for John to get back in the bike before he goes. But you can probably see if he comes by here again, you can see the suspenders that are attached to those knee boots. Some younger people may not even realize that we had suspenders on there.
Right. Well, yes, and yeah, they're almost a thing of the past. You rarely see them. That is a surprise, which shows that John's an older horseman.
Old school, yep.
Yeah, old school. But it's a safety thing in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Number 5, Vroom and Vani was third. Number 6, Cruisin' Cassie was fifth. Time of the first quarter was 30 2/5. The half was in 59 2/5. The 3 quarters in 129 1/5, with a mile in 157 4/5. From the top it should read 6:42 1:35, a mile in 157 4/5, just a fifth of a second off the overall trotting track record here at the Seneca County Fair. In the upcoming race 9, number 2, Bubble Me Up, make the driver Rod Allums Jr. Rod Allums Jr. will drive number 2, Bubble Me Up. Number 4, Our Miss Ray, make the driver Emmanuel Miller. Change the driver to Emmanuel Miller on number 4, Our Miss Ray. Need a representative X.
So Matt just pointed out that Stony Ridge Shop was just within a fifth of a second at another track record, and it was just within a fifth of a second
he
here.
He could have gone a fifth second faster
he absolutely
if he knew.
could have, yeah. But, you know, John just
did what
drives
he had
him
to
to
do.
win.
Of
you know, I
course.
think that's Stony he's got a lot of years left to get those track records.
Here comes the arm.
Here comes Paisley, just a whipping these.
She doesn't tire out, I can tell you that.
This girl's got an arm. So that was the 8th race, the Signature Series Trot.
Yes, we're almost calling it a night. Just one more to go. And that's going to be our 3-year-old filly Pace.
Second of 2 divisions.
Yes, you were talking about the boots, the knee boots. Well, I think at some racetracks, the hopple hangers that go around in front, and they similar. They have that you know hold the hopples up, but for safety reasons, instead of just the buckle, there are some paddock judges that insist they tape them because if you have a buckle come out of its thing and it drops down, terrible. But they never used to. But I do know some paddock judges insist that they tape those hopple hangers.
Yep, every jurisdiction is a little bit different, and you got to know the rules when you go to the paddock, don't you?
Oh, yes, things that you can bring in and things you cannot bring in.
Somebody asked if the suspenders act like trotting hobbles. No, they don't, and Zach was right. They just hold the knee boots from falling down. And they, you know, like if the knee boot would be unbuckled somehow, the suspender holds it up and it isn't flopping around down in their legs. So
right,
it
sometimes
is a safety thing.
Hard-hitting horses that hit a knee boot hard, they can actually spin them around.
Yep.
I think you mentioned another old school thing was the felt knee boots because they don't make that noise. And they actually say some people claim that their horse gets to enjoy hitting their knees and making the noise, and you can hear it if they hit them hard enough.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So the 9th race coming up. Let's take a short break, and we'll be back with race number 9.
Volstead, Coach K. Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K. Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms. At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661. When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com for fast shipping. Most orders ship that day. Or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Okay, we're back with the final race of the evening. We'll take a look at the horses. I think we might have time, or maybe they're all assembled already.
Yeah, I think they're ready for the call to the post.
Horsemen's. That's really right for the Kaufman family. And Ryan and Charleston. And the horses are trading post right here for race 9. This is your getaway race here for the 2024 Seneca County Fair. This is the second division of the 3-year-old filly pace, going for a purse of $6,658 and a blanket courtesy of Ex-Carette Mexican Restaurant. Number 1 is She's a Gold Digger, owned by the Fly Fancy Stables in Noble, Ohio, trained by Michael Durant's, the driver Mark St. Louis Jr. Number 2 is Bubble Me Up, owned by Stephen Reese, the Republic, Ohio, and Charles Mooney of Avon Lake, Ohio, trained by Janie Weller, the driver Rod Adams Jr. Number 3 is West Malibu, owned by Doug Hartong Jr. of Adrian, Michigan, trained by Brian Boring, the driver Drew Neal. Number 4 is Our Miss Ray, owned and trained by Bill Webb of Defiance, the driver Emmanuel Miller. Number 5 is Queen Bee and Me, owned by Pat Malloy Jr., Lisa Goslin, and Logan Malloy of Eaton, Ohio, trained and driven by Pat Malloy Jr. Number 6 is Sadie's Dream, owned by Jeff Badd and Bill Webb of Defiance, trained by Bill Webb, the driver Clifton Bell. Number 7 is Mocha Time, owned by Power Play Racing 87 LLC of Medina, trained and driven by James Day. The horses will take one long score and go to the gate. Mute your windows.
Okay, we're going to go quickly down these horses because I think they're going to go to the gate pretty soon. So She's a Gold Digger, Mark St. Louis Jr. up for Michael D. Runs. Fly Fancy Stables are the owners. This is a lather up out of Well Said Mare. Just won her last start at Bucyrus in 58-1. But back in early June, she went to Scioto twice, paced in 54-4 and 54-3.
The 2, Bubble Me Up, is another lather-up filly. This one, Rod Allums Jr. will drive for trainer Jane Weller. Stephen Reese and Charles Mooney of Ohio own this one. Has had 2 starts this year, 7 last. Has had 1 second.
West Malibu and Drew Neal from the 3. Brian Boring trains. Douglas Harting owns. This is a down by the seaside out of a Western Hanover mare. 1 win this year, that was at Marion in 2-6-2, but did pace some miles at Northfield in 2 minutes flat.
Bill Webb's done everything but drive this one. He trains, owns, and was the breeder on Our Miss Ray. Emmanuel Miller will be driving. This one had interference actually last time out and finished 6th by a distance, but before that it had a nice second place effort, coming home in 29-1.
Queen Bee and Me with Pat Malloy up. Pat's also the trainer and co-owns this horse along with Lisa Goslin and Logan Malloy. This is a Yankee Cruiser out of a Some Beach Somewhere mare. Hurricane and Queen Roses, I believe is how it said. 12 starts this year, 1 win. That was at Wilmington in 59-4. But had back-to-back starts at Scioto Downs where she paced in 54-1, 54-3, and 54-4.
Trainer Bill Webb also trains Sadie Dreams and co-owns along with Jeffrey Batt from Defiance. Sadie's Dream will be driven by Clifton Bell, has made 9 appearances this year, none last year as a freshman, but in the 9 starts this year has racked up 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. Did make a mistake last time out, had interference the time before that, but had a string of seconds and 2 wins, 5 strong there.
And trailing the field will be Mocha Time. James Day up. James also trains for Power Play Racing 87. This is a big risk out of a Dragon Again mare. Sam has 4 starts this year, has not, or had 1 third. That was at Cortland, and has been pacing some miles in 2-1-1 at Northfield and 2-1-2. So they are ready to go to the gate. So from the rail out, we've got She's a Gold Digger, Bubble Me Up, West Malibu, Our Miss Ray, Queen Bee and Me, Sadie's Dream, and from the second tier, Mocha Time.
Here they come. Leading off and pacing the first horse away in the middle of the track is West Malibu. Now taking over along the rail is She's a Gold Digger. Flying up on the outside third comes Sadie's Dream to take command. Off stride went She's a Gold Digger. As they make the turn now to head down the backside to race over that quarter-mile mark, Clifton Bell has Sadie's Dream on top by 2 lengths. Racing in their second is West Malibu, driven by Drew Neal. Moving up third along the rail, that's Queen Bee and Me, driven by Pat Malloy Jr. Racing at the rail fourth, that's Bubble Me Up, driven by Rod Adams Jr. Racing in their fifth is Mocha Time, driven by James Day. 6 is Our Miss Ray, driven by Emmanuel Miller. And the last horse is She's a Gold Digger, driven by Martin St. Louis Jr. First quarter paced in 29 2/5 seconds. Horses are in straight alignment as they race around that upper turn to come down past the stand for the first time. That's Clifton Bell and Sadie's Dream bringing the horses down toward the half. Racing in their second is West Malibu. Moving along third at the rail as they come down to the half-mile mark, that's Queen Bee and Me. Fourth is Bubble Me Up. Racing in their fifth, that's Mocha Time. Sixth, it is Our Miss Ray, and the last horse, She's a Gold Digger. First half paced in a minute flat. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Sadie's Dream. The closest horse second is West Malibu. Racing third, that is Queen Bee and Me. In their fourth as they go down the backside is Bubble Me Up. Along the rail fifth is Mocha Time. On the outside six, She's a Gold Digger. And the last horse going down the backside is Our Miss Ray. Going to that 3/4 mile mark, that's still Sadie's Dream with the lead. At the rail second, that's West Malibu, and on the outside third is Queen Bee and Me. 3 quarters in 1:31 2/5 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Sadie's Dream by 2 lengths, but flying on the outside second now comes Queen Bee and Me. Third along the rail is West Malibu. As they race through the lane, that's Sadie's Dream and Queen Bee and Me. Sadie's Dream at the rail, Queen Bee and Me on the outside. Sadie's Dream, Queen Bee and Me and West Malibu. It's going to be Sadie's Dream, and here they all come. Tight for place between Queen Bee and Me and Bubble and West Malibu. 1 mile and 1:59 2/5.
The 6th horse, Sadie's Dream, held off all challengers to win this one.
When coming up to the 3/4 pole, I saw Clifton reach up and pull out those plugs with his leg, and that horse kind of shot. Was up by just a length and a half, and then all of a sudden was up by 3, just like that, as soon as he pulled those plugs.
West Malibu stayed in the pocket the whole time. Queen Bee and Me came and made a bid. It was very tight on the wire for a 2nd place finish. That would be, that one I will leave up to the photo finish cameraman.
Yeah, I'm thinking that West Malibu was 2nd and Queen Bee and Me was 3rd, but that was a tight one.
Now, what was the track record for the Philly Pacers? 3-year-old Philly Pacers?
156 2.
And what did they go?
59 2.
59 2.
Yeah, so a little bit
yes,
off.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit off.
But they will have a couple of, over the winter, they're going to have to redo their sign because there's a few new track records here this meet. There was new track records at Marysville. We've been having a lot of them, so it's we're trying really hard at OHHA to not just delete the old track record and put the new one. We're trying to preserve the history because we have lost a lot of that history when the USGA doesn't make the trotting and pacing guides anymore, which I miss terribly.
Yes, they were a publicity person's dream.
Yeah, they're absolutely great. I have a lot of old ones you can go back, but there's this little gap in here, and we're trying, like I said, really hard to make sure to maintain that history.
Yes, and they used to have very thick volumes of sires and dams, and all those things are everything's gone to, I guess,
digital.
Digital, yeah. Microfiche. It used to be microfiche, then it's
Circle on the winners go. Coming in from Defiance, Ohio, comes number 6, Sadie's Dream. All by Jeff Batt and Bill Webb, trained by Bill Webb, and driven to victory this evening by Clifton Bell.
So our last horse in the winner's circle for this year's meet here at the Seneca County Fair. Clifton Bell and Sadie's Dream. Looks like they're probably waiting for somebody to come over from the barn area.
The blanket for this race is courtesy of Ex-Correct Mexican Restaurant.
Sounds pretty good right now.
It does. A nice end to a really nice program here at Tiffin.
And a beautiful night, as you said.
Yeah.
Actually, last night was nice too, but it was a lot warmer than tonight.
And here for Jeff Batt, Doug Tressler, Jeff Whipple, Clifton Bell, and Sadie's Dream. And to Ex-Correct Mexican Restaurant, the donors of the blanket.
Yeah, I see Tim has walked over there with the photo results, so he's going to give that to our presiding
We need
judge.
a drum roll for this one as far as I'm concerned. It was close.
While we're waiting for that, don't forget to join us back tomorrow at noon from Paynesville with 16 races. And then we're going to go, where do we go after that? Sydney, Tuesday night at 5 o'clock. Wednesday night, Sydney will also race at 5 o'clock. And then we go on Friday, post time 5 o'clock for races at Piketon and also at Northfield Park, the Summit County Fair. 20 big ones at Northfield Park. Matt's already kind of groaning, thinking of 20 races.
Well, I can't say that I blame him. He has to stand there and...
Number 1, She's a Gold Digger, was 5th. Number 2, Bubble Me Up, was 4th. Number 3, West Malibu, was 3rd. Number 4, Our Miss Ray, was 7th. Number 5, Queen Bee and Me, was 2nd. Number 6, Sadie's Dream, was the winner. Number 7, Mocha Time, was 6th. Time of the first quarter was 29 2/5. The half was in a minute. The 3/4 in 1:31 2/5. With a mile in 1:59 2/5. From the top it should read 5, 4, 3, 7, 2, 1, 6 on the bottom. A mile in 1:59 2/5.
Okay, so we certainly want to thank everybody that was listening in. Thank you to the Seneca County Harness Horsemen's Association for putting on an absolutely great meet here.
And I would say Susan and I always hope to see you at the races, and if we don't see you, we hope you're tuning in to watch us. Good racing, good luck, and good night.
This has been Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing has been presented by Midland Acres, thestable.ca, Dublin Valley Farms, Big D Tack and Vet Supply, and the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio County Fair Racing is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.